almost voice live, and I mean I'm voice live, and now you're all voice live.
Voice
Voice live.
Live! Alright, so Dave, how's Resident Evil 4 Remake going?
I mean, I already beat it once.
Only
More
once.
more times to come.
Well, yeah.
It's very fun. I will say this. So what they did, I like a lot of what they did in how they like they took some of the stages that existed, and instead of just straight up remaking them, they basically like turned them around where you kind of have to run through it backwards or from a different angle, and so it gives you a totally different look. So it's still using the similar setup, but you're not coming at it from the same angle. Or in some of them, they like kind of moved when you do the thing, so you're not always just doing it at the same time. Or they kind of changed how some of the things go. It feels and controls a lot like the 2 remake, the 3 remake, and 7 and Village, which is great because like those controls are really good. They feel really solid. They don't have the quick turnaround, which I miss. I miss being able to just down and X and immediately, 180.
Yeah, that does seem like a unfortunate loss.
I like the way they did the storage stuff because they still use the attaché case, of course, but you can also actually store weapons you're not using. So it's not like in original 4 where if it didn't fit in the case, you just didn't have it. Which made you make some tough choices. The new game plus is pretty cool. I was doing that. It's interesting. It feels really good. I know a lot of people had some complaints about the 3 remake and that it felt kind of light. And I can understand that because that game was a short game anyways. Like the original 3 was pretty short, and it doesn't have a ton of bonus content, but neither did the original. But this game has the rest of Resident Evil 3, like the rest of what people thought they were going to get of Resident Evil 3, and then some more, and then they added a little more after that. I'm really excited because they said Mercenaries mode is supposed to be free DLC
Yep.
the beginning of April, like early in April. So I'm very excited about that happening. I'm going to play that a lot as well.
I'm gonna, while you explain, I'm gonna go grab my water bottle. So
Oh, okay. Yeah, no worries. So yeah, because I loved Mercenaries mode. As of yet, I haven't seen if they have like Operation Ada or anything like that planned, because Operation Ada was super fun in the first one. And I hope they are planning to do something along those lines. Because I really enjoyed getting to, because Operation Ada is like you play through the game through what Ada does. And so
Yeah.
you get to basically be sideways to the story that you're playing with Leon, which is pretty neat. And I hope they do that again because I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, overall, it's a fantastic game. It even has fishing, kind of, so Panda can give it a 10 out of 10.
All right. That's Dave's review of the Resident Evil 4 remake.
Yeah.
And this is a guy who loves the original to bits and pieces. So
Yeah, it is easily my favorite game, like, of all time, and this remake is not only a spiritual successor, but is also a like faithful recreation to fans. I think, as someone who is a big fan of that game,
Spiritual successor?
yes, in that they follow the spirit of the game and the idea and concepts behind it.
oh, that's that. So hearing that makes me happy because I was kind of worried that it would be more along the lines of like the 2 and 3 remake, when original 4 is not super serious, and that's one of the reasons why I love the original 4.
It's definitely got some good light-hearted stuff in it. It is very dramatic still, right? And like the original has parts that are incredibly dramatic, and it also has parts like that, and it feels like the drama feels real when it's there. But they also leaned into the creepiness aspect, like of the survival horrorness more, but it is still an action movie shoot 'em up kind of thing, like the original was. Because the original 4 deviated so much from previous Resident Evil games because it felt more like an action movie and less like a horror game, right?
Yeah.
This still does. It's got horror aspects and stuff, and it's creepy, but it feels like you're playing an action movie, which is dope.
I agree. That sounds pretty dope.
But yeah.
Also, apologies in advance, everyone, if I am having issues talking today. Harley, the buddy boy, last night when it was time to go to bed, literally the last thing I was doing before I was going to go to bed, let him out, and he ran into a skunk. Got blasted in the face.
Oh.
And so I spent several hours scrubbing him and cleaning him and getting him settled. And he's fine now. But his face still smells kind of like skunk. He doesn't seem to notice, but we all do.
Yeah.
And my room smells very much like skunk. So it's a little stifling in here.
A little difficult.
It's
to
been a
breathe.
whole day. Yep. But, yeah, so if I sound like I'm just dying or whatever and dry mouth to hell, it's because that's how I feel.
Ellie asks if El Gigante is still an awesome.
Yes. So I will say too, as part of my review, is that if you want to call it a review, every single boss fight in that game feels either better than it used to, like is more fun to play, or is just as fun as the other boss fights. The ones that when you think about it, you're like, oh man, and you kind of dread it because it's hard, not because it's bad. Those, they made some of the user interface things that were difficult about the original Resident Evil way better, but they still kept what I felt like was kind of skill intensive and difficult thing in them. But there's no like quick time events, right? So there's none of the like things in the cutscene with Krauser where you just die because you effed up the quick time. In this case, you die because Krauser stabs you and you didn't parry it. So that's way better. Like,
All right, I think we could be good now, Patrick. I got the thing that I wanted as the voice live comment.
That makes sense. Yeah, then fine. We will go next stage of live, which is Face Live.
oh man.
Wow! Oh my god!
Face
We're Face
live.
Live.
We're here.
Hi everybody.
Is everybody in the right place? Yes, they are. Okay, that's good because I didn't check earlier. Yeah. Make sure the audio is actually working. It is. That's great.
Great.
Also, you may notice the music is different. That's because OneDrive pretty much fucked up my whole profile. So I had to rebuild my entire Windows profile today. And got pretty much everything looking good. The one thing I didn't check, because I didn't think it was going to matter. Was that Windows Media Player would actually play the playlists that I created for our background music, and they don't. So yeah, we're risking it. We're being I don't know, what do you call this? Mavericks. We're being outlaws. We're using probably copyrighted music from Ori and the Will of the Wisps.
Yeah,
because it's a great soundtrack, but also from Ori and the Blind Forest because that's also a great soundtrack. And then we'll use some other shit later if there's a battle.
Hey, battles.
Wait, this isn't a
Yeah,
Nintendo game, is it?
Oh no.
Oh God.
Somebody
I'm
check.
pretty
Make sure this
it's
isn't a
not.
Nintendo game. I don't think it is. I'm pretty
Like
sure.
I know
listen to
it's
Sam
on
about
the
this, yeah.
Switch, but I don't think it's owned
finished.
by them because it was one of those indies. I'm pretty sure.
As long as it's not a flag, like it's not their IP.
Mario or whatever, like a.
It doesn't have to be a flagship as long as it's not their IP.
Boop 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 boop. Oh wait, I probably shouldn't sing the Wii song either.
Oh no, it might be worse. It looks like it might be Xbox Game Studios publisher.
That's not worse than Nintendo.
No.
I guess
That's not. It's 100%.
Nintendo will
not.
practically kick down your door and shoot your dog. They're almost as bad as the ATF.
As long as it's not, I was gonna say as long as it's not Disney, but
That's true.
took it somewhere else.
Yeah.
Disney, you just
Yeah.
get
Same
disappeared.
difference.
We'll see. We'll
Yeah.
see. We might be alright.
Who knows? Not me. That's
Plus,
for sure.
we chatter enough that. So what I've noticed is, when we do like game shenanigans or whatever else when we're playing the Game Chops playlist. So a lot of that music is copyrighted, but it doesn't affect your stream because they allow people to use it or whatever. It just comes up, it just gets flagged to be like, hey, this is copyrighted music, just so you know, and then nothing happens. But it only tends to happen whenever there's spots where we're quiet. So if I don't like edit out much of the break, or if there's some lead in at the very beginning, or game shenanigans, we're playing like Gartic Phone, so we're all try-harding and it gets really quiet. That's the stuff that gets flagged. Otherwise, we're fucking mouthy enough that I guess it doesn't recognize whatever the hell is being played. So, anyway, minimize that and hope that it keeps playing. It does. Cool. I lost everything. Where'd it go? Where are the things? Streamlabs, there you are. Hey, it's JB. Welcome. Always good to have you. While you're here, before you go completely into lurk mode.
He's already gone. He's lurked. He's gone full into the show.
Full into the lurk.
So, we have now crossed the threshold of what we needed to be affiliate. And so we, of course, have to show our appreciation, which will be done on the 6th of next month, as has been hinted at and outright stated several times. But I know you guys don't pay attention, because I don't either. So I'm saying it now, while I know I at least have 2 people's attention, probably the 2 most important people who are going to give a shit about it the most. Here's the thing. I'm not going to tell you what it is right now. Okay, I made a video. I spent all yesterday on it. These bastards all have seen it, right? It's just a reveal trailer for what's going to happen on the 6th. And you will get to see it. You'll get to see it on the 1st. Because that was Dave's idea.
I'm glad you took that from me. That suggestion.
That was Dave's idea. So decide for yourselves when it is released, whether it is an April Fool's joke or not. Regardless, we will be streaming on the 6th. That's happening. It's not April Fool's Day today. What we're streaming, however... Well, it has been... I was going to say it's to be decided, but that's not true. It's been decided. You'll just have to figure out whether my trailer is honest or not. And you will see it on Sunday. And you're going to like it. Regardless of what happens, you're going to like the trailer. It's only like 3 minutes, but you're going to laugh.
It's an awesome trailer, guys.
You're going to laugh. Anyway, yeah, so... Stay tuned for that. Clear your schedules for the evening of April 6th. And, yeah, stick around so we can say thank you with a real fun little one-shot. That might be a 2-shot because, you know. Time.
Because this is us.
It's us and also just timing. But, other than that, I don't have any other... I don't have any more. That's the end of our announcements because I'm Matt Mercer and this is Critical Role.
What?
Man, I wish I had Laura Bailey's voice.
I almost said
Me
something
too.
that I shouldn't.
Yeah, I didn't say it. I decided to be quiet.
Me too.
I'm just going to shut the fuck up about that, and I'm going to let Hyperphase do the recap starting whenever he's ready.
No, it's my turn? Oh, okay. I didn't realize
you
it was
said
my
you took
turn.
copious notes, so I assumed it was you?
I always
doesn't
take
have to
copious
necessarily be.
notes of this campaign.
Oh, it doesn't
This
have to be.
campaign.
Whoever wants to do it.
I mean, I'm fine with that. Last time on Into the Storm, session 26, Technology, Our Greatest Enemy Strikes Again. That's the name of the session, just so you know, as far as I'm concerned. So Sam had a chat with Miles to learn a bit about him, and part of that he learned that Miles is, it doesn't say wife, but significant other. We'll go with that. Significant other has passed on. I believe he used the word beloved. And they're kind of talking, and he asks Sam about if he could hear the stones, and Sam was kind of confused at first, and he kind of explains, and it's like the stuff that happened back when we were in the Storm Warden's area, where Sam could like hear the talking of things and how like Mr. Guy it talked to him. Anyway, so because of that, Sam's able to hear this song from the grave, and he hears the phrase like "Don't cry for me," and Miles kind of gets it out of him, like what what he heard and all that kind of stuff. And then he teaches him some magic to call an animal, which is pretty cool. And Sam went looking for grave garlic, but actually got some flowers instead of grave garlic, and put some plants and flowers on her grave. And and then they kind of had a little bit of chat about the alcohol past and history, and we kind of find out a little bit more about Miles. Let's see, Lamia and Casimira were sparring last session, the session before last, and Lamia was really distracted by snails at that point. But so they're having a talk about that, and at one point it is brought up that do you like worship the god of snails or something because you're so distracted by snails. Casimira gets really angry and she's kind of taking it out on Lamia, and then Lamia's being just absolutely the most like understanding human on the planet, and Casimira kind of like her anger and irritation kind of burns out in the face of Lamia's soothing unbotheredness and over apologeticness. So they talk about that Lamia wasn't really able to talk Eli out of being the sponsor team, and like what it means to Casimira, and how she wanted to do the spirit's path for her dad, and she wants to do it together with him because her dad is super rad. He's famous, he's awesome, he's this amazing, kind of almost semi-mythical figure in her eyes, as many people's dads probably, or parents in general probably are to them, but him extra because he is actual famous and actual crazy, well-known, almost Indiana Jones-esque archaeology man. Which, super side note, I watched the first episode of Digman, and I know I told Patrick about this. It's really funny. People should watch that. I hope the rest
Digman?
Yes, his last name is Digman, but the show is Digman. I'll tell you all about it all off air. I'm just recommending it. It's very funny. So that Casimira and Lamia bond over the dad stuff, because Lamia also has some stuff with like trying to live up to the like towering colossus that is her father in her mind, whether or not it's true. Oftentimes that's kind of what both these kids are doing. Lamia won't stop calling me boss, which is frustrating, even though I was not there. Lamia learns the weapon trick feat for pole arms. I was doing some research on the Nuluxifix, but my notes say Nuluxa can't spell that. And that kind of stuff. I learned that somewhere between Saigon and a town that I also can't say, man. I spelled it right, but Ballaretser?
Yeah,
it's hard. Okay. There's a huge clash of followers of the name I can't spell, which is Nuluxifix, and several villages had to band together to put down the uprising because they were trying to take over villages and establish this doctrine and found this Nuluxifix as a religion instead of just being like a small cult. I also researched the Land of Shadows in Fungia, found a lot about that. It's like a lot of the landscape Fungia is a jungle, climate extremes. There's 3 like Lands of Shadows. I'm not going to go into everything. I have a ton of notes in high detail. I basically wrote down everything Patrick told me, but they're just Halios, Brayton, and Gammon, and that's all I'm going to say right now. And I'm going to try and skip to the end of that because it's a big block of text. Let's see. Expedition. It was like 40 years ago. Cool stuff like that. Okay, so then I talked to Rahala about what she found out. She found out stuff about Nuluxifix that's disturbing and not exactly the best news. So near the end of the Stark Night, powerful mage managed to remove their name from history, and they were going around trying to capture the spark of a nascent, and specifically like fallen nascents and creating vessels for them. The vessels could project their lightness of the nascent. Most of them got destroyed. They were all found in very different areas, but none were found in Tsetsegia, which means they either weren't made here or they weren't found here. All the accounts about them are terrifying. They are apparently very difficult to destroy, but once they're destroyed, the spirit moves on. So there was an event in Sanguk where the vessel was able to act like a god, and like as far as granting spells and power and things that only divine beings can do in this, growing stronger with the more faith and worship poured into them. So, and it took like an army to destroy the thing. But unfortunately, Rahala didn't really find anything about Nuluxifix specifically, but all of this kind of can apply to it and is possibly what we were dealing with because we found that weird statue that might be this. Then we all went to sleep. Lamia heard a weird voice in her sleep, and she starts like kind of astral projecting, and I have taken more notes for this session than I did for all of high school. That is literally written in my notes. So I thought I'd tell you all that. So a predator red in fang and claw, but this one walks upright wearing the mask of a man, but a monster all the same, is what she's told by this voice that we assume is Lux Fix, I guess, but we aren't sure. It's kind of what she hears. He carries his fangs in his sheath, and he is close. The door kind of opens slightly, like someone's peeking in at us, and it offers essentially to protect Lami. And she's like, no, you have to protect me and my friends. And then it offers that same thing, like, we'll hide all of you. And he's about to agree to have him hide us all. And then a hand goes over her mouth, and a woman of vines and leaves, which is probably Mr. Gaia, stops her and says that she doesn't need him. And then they kind of like disappear and the door closes. Everything's black. Lami is still freaking out, kind of. And then she sits up in bed sharply. And right before there's a super loud scream in another room, everybody wakes up. House guards are moving all around. Lights are coming on. Lami sees across the hall in another dark room where Team Rajik was staying. And Nomal is like covered in blood. She points into the room and she kind of faints. Miles catches her. She's conscious, I guess, because he's talking to her. He's like, you toughen up. You got this. Then we see that all three members of the team were absolutely butchered in the room, and it is trashed. There's blood smeared everywhere. And Miles is like, so this might have nothing to do with you guys, but you need to go back to your room till we figure all this stuff out, because obviously they were a competing team, because Team Rajik was the team that Hearth Modric was putting in. So, that's kind of where we were at.
Yeah, that is indeed where we paused. So, I guess the question is, does anyone have anything else to add?
No, he did a really good job.
A lot of notes.
A lot of notes. Well.
No, Golf Ball is still alive.
Golf Ball was a part of that group. No, Golf Ball is a part of the different group. The group they sparred was not Team Ravjit. Yeah. Different team who was not on the grounds that night, as far as anyone knows. But with all of that adequately recapped, thank you, Hyperphase. We will draw back in to the Markham Manor. You were told, as you all groggily step out of your rooms, at least two of you groggy, one of you bit wired, heart still pounding. The
Mom spaghetti.
Scrutinizing look of Miles Markham drifting over you before he says, "Yeah, I should go back to your rooms for now."
I think we need to start a perimeter.
I think they can handle that. They've got a house guard and everything. We'll just pop back over here and stay out of your head.
Even as you say they have a house guard and everything, you see one of the house guards like look into the room and he just, "Oh, I'm fine." And he walks into the room very carefully.
Do we want to be in the same room?
We all should go in the room.
Right, yeah, we definitely should go in the same room and have a chat. Let's go.
No, it's fine. You guys just go in your room?
Yep.
Yeah.
Sorry for me to understand correctly. We're going into one room, or are we both going into the rooms that we were?
I was suggesting we all go into one room. That is what I suggested.
Okay, yeah, I would follow Eli.
Mm-hmm.
Panda, you didn't look particularly content with that. Does Sam go into a room, or does he?
Yeah, I'm going into a room. I'm not going to hang out and become a suspect. But look, I'm smarter than that. Sam is really wanting to help, but he'll
if you try and help, I will grab you by the collar and pull you into the room with us.
But did you say anything, or did you just let him?
No, it's good.
Okay. All right. So you guys head into the same room. I'm assuming Eli's room, since Rahala's in there.
Yeah.
She didn't quite come all the way out. She was like kind of peering out of the doorway. So y'all gather in there for now. You can hear the footsteps, the commotion, kind of move, like people moving about outside, folks talking. Even after a couple of minutes, once you all are like together, maybe very quickly fill Rahala in on what just happened out there that she didn't quite catch. You at some point hear Clint's voice. You can't quite tell what he's saying. You can tell he's come downstairs. That's all kind of happening sort of in the background outside your door. Sorry, to you.
Yeah, sorry. I was going to pay attention to the outside, but I got to say this first. So this was going to sound weird, but, you know, being Luxifix, I guess, was warning me about this.
So he knew something was going on.
Yeah, he said something about a red fang, a guy who wears a mask of a man, but he's still a monster in the inside. Carries his fangs in a sheath, and he offered to protect me. I said no to that, and then he offered to protect you guys. Before I could really say anything, a lady, very, very pretty, covered my mouth and said I didn't need him. And then they both disappeared. Like that, I don't know what happened there. But Luxifix, I think, warned me about this.
That's disconcerting. What? So were we the intended targets then, and they just messed up, or did they get found out before they were able to come to us, or was he lying to you?
Is there a window to this room?
In this room, there's not. Or, I'm sorry, there to the outside, yes, there's not one, like, to the inner hall, there's one to, like, the actual grounds.
Okay.
So you could, like, look to the outside.
I'm assuming Silverhawk is there with me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm gonna...
While you guys are talking, I'm gonna go pet the dog. He's over there barking.
Okay. I'm going The boy.
Yeah, I don't...
Also, where's Rahala during all this?
In our room.
She's here, yeah.
Oh, she's here? Okay.
Yes, this is our room, her and I's room that we were sharing.
Just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
He said that when we walked back in here, man.
Yeah.
The beer. Anyway, sorry. I don't know why that just popped in my head.
Yeah, I don't know, to be honest, because we know that he would want to do more favors for me.
Right, exactly. That's what I'm saying. If he was trying to trick you so that you would, accept something, it's worrisome. But just that he could potentially have foreknowledge of like a thing happening is also very worrisome. It's not good.
I'm gonna get Silverhawk to do the seek action out the window.
Okay. You boot that. I think we put it into his sheet.
I thought you said there wasn't a window out here.
There's
No,
not
to the inside.
There's one to the outside.
Okay.
To the actual outer grounds.
Yes.
In theory, you could have a window to an interior to like help airflow and stuff like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Technically, I believe. Let me look at there.
There's your area and looks around.
You guys are in. Okay, yeah. See, looks around for anything that's obviously alive or animate.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And when he gets back, just let me know when he gets back.
Yep.
And I don't know if...
Are you trying to get him to look for anything specific, or just if there's anyone alive or moving?
Anything alive or moving.
Okay.
I can't really... I don't know how well I can talk to him. Sorry for interrupting you, Molly. I guess anything fleeing the scene, I guess, specifically. But
okay.
Moving away from the house.
Okay. Give me a quick intelligence check for him.
Oh, his intelligence. Okay.
Mhm.
I guess I can just do.
To help me kind of figure out where he's. Okay, that's really good for him.
Seeing as he's not the smartest bird.
Right. Well, he's still just bird.
He's a bird.
Give me a perception for him, and then you guys can keep going.
What a bird brain. No,
Perception.
Sorry, Molly, go ahead.
No, and I don't think he could be lying about this, but I don't know either. I know when he was talking to me, the door to my room was opening, but I didn't get the chance to look out the door.
Right. Well, it's all a bit. Yeah. Well, I don't have anything good for that, unfortunately.
Lamia's gonna look at her scars that she got that were healed by an Alexifix real quick to see if they look different.
Don't seem to.
Okay.
Damn it. That's so annoying. Sorry, everybody.
But yeah, he had talked to me just before this scream happened.
Well, I mean, he's obviously got some kind of like ability to see into things beyond what we can, which makes sense, you know, massive power levels and stuff that I definitely don't understand. But like, well, I don't know. We got to put a pin in that one because I don't think we can do anything about it. But we at least know it wasn't any of us who did the killing. I look at Sam, right? It wasn't like you somehow.
I know I fell asleep at some point.
Okay. Well,
and Mommy was there the whole time I was awake.
So obviously this looks bad for us because, you know, they were the only competing team here. So that just looks bad. Already, like, it is well known, I guess, that Hearth Modric was trying to buy out the shop, you know, area. And so that makes it look bad for me. Well, you, bud, I look at the floor and like my shadows just kind of like shrugs. You make everything look worse to other people. So yeah, they're probably gonna not trust us on this one.
I mean, do I have my weapons on me?
Ellie, none of us killed them. That would be a hell of a twist.
Haha, the twist is I was.
Do we all have our
along.
weapons? I guess.
Did you walk out of the room with them?
I mean, there was
otherwise yours and Lamia's are probably still in your room, right?
Okay. How did we get alerted to the thing last time?
You heard a loud scream.
I would have grabbed at least my sword.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, that makes sense. Mine are obviously in this room, so I don't have to worry about it.
I check it to see if it's bloody. You know, just I mean, like,
looks pristine to you.
Okay.
Yeah. Right,
just
in case. You know,
that's a heck of a frame-up job too. If they just, you know, took your weapons, dunked them in blood, and threw them back at you or something.
I do use a very unique type of weapon. Llama, yours is would be easy to kind of tell as well. Ellie put in chat, I'm waiting for the reveal that Sam is a traveling serial killer with a very cheerful disposition. I can't make a character that well. That would have been a really good character to make.
Make a character that
yeah.
well.
A evil character who is pretending to be like a lawful good character. Oh, that's
tough.
That's above me. Nah.
Says unconvincingly.
Yeah, who would do that?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Plus, I would never run that.
Yeah. Yeah, I.
No.
Not
I
unless he
legitimately
gets
hate
changed
That's an NPC
by the power
that
of
we have brought
friendship.
into our crew that we then
Yeah.
find out is
Yeah.
the murderer.
There'd be some hard stipulations to that, but either way, that's very unlikely to be happening. So let's move on.
But no, we would have some unique weapons that would really. So, like, what?
Gotta
Did you-
obviously, we don't know what exactly happened in there, because they kind of kicked us back in here. But all I saw was there was a lot of blood in there. So whatever it was a lot of it.
Was there a check we could have rolled to see if we could tell how the bodies were done? Is there a retroactive?
Not
Check.
retroactive, no.
Okay.
I was trying to give plenty of chances to see if anyone wanted to do anything.
Okay.
So
That's fine. That's not our loss. Yeah.
Nomala was covered in their blood.
Rahala speaks up when you say that. She says, "Yeah, that's odd. Why would she have been?"
Unless she was trying to do some kind of first aid in, while they were still like dying and bled all over her. It does seem very strange. Even then, that's like a lot, right? It was a lot, right, Lamia? I was just like...
It didn't seem like it, though, did it? Like, she seemed like initial shock, right?
Yeah,
Right.
she
Am I
seemed
the only one
stunned.
No, you're very right about that, which is a bit of an odd thing. Certainly.
Well, it's a bit of a doubt. We're talking about the religious one, right? She is religious. Maybe she has some divine abilities.
Well,
And she could have.
Sure, and she could have tried to heal him. That's what I'm saying. She was trying to do some kind of first aid of healing, but it is still, suspicious isn't the word I want to use, but suspicious.
Yeah.
We've seen that people can be taken to where they're not in control of themselves, right? So it's very possible that some kind of malevolent force was attempting to control her and use her as essentially a puppet. I'm like trying to like tiptoe around the whole like Lamia
Possession
being
thing?
kind of
That's what-
controlled-ish thing, but I'm very much like hinting at that kind of thing could happen to other people.
That's true.
But I'm not trying to call you out in any way, if that makes sense, the way I'm saying it.
Yeah. And it's just going by Lamia's head because she's just thinking.
Yeah.
Plus, I've seen a man turn into a bear, so like a bear could do that very easily.
I mean, a lot of us have seen a man that everyone else has forgotten too. So,
That's true.
Lots of things are possible here.
Bird returns.
I can't speak with animals.
Okay.
Because that's the one I kind of have always prepared now. Yeah. So what did you see? Did you see anything? What'd you see?
I forgot what voice I did. Oh yeah. God damn it.
As long
I
as it's not the
saw-
Harley voice.
Oh yeah.
I saw 6 people. Some of them on their way here. Shiny, wearing the shells that humans wear. Or demi wear.
Yes.
Some of them away with the shelled ones.
They looked like the same shell.
Yes. You get a hint of uncertainty in the yes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Nothing else moving to or from.
I did see a vole.
Oh, did you eat it?
No, I waited.
Oh.
I had a mission.
Okay. Well, you can go back out there and catch that mole if you want.
Gratitude.
Bold or mole?
V.
Yeah, okay.
V is in vector, yeah.
Okay. Just so for me, I guess I don't know. It's important.
Immediately takes off when you dismiss it.
What's up, Sam?
I sent him out to see if there was anybody moving away from the grounds. It looks like there's some armored people moving towards the house, and some armored people moving away from the house. But nothing sounds suspicious as far as I can tell. It sounds like guards or something of the sort. To me, anyway. I guess I can just say it's they're Demi that are armored. It's as far as he knows.
Oh man, I hope Verbrong is okay out there.
You know, obviously, the level of carnage we just saw, they maybe could have done something to him, but I gotta say, it's probably not worth their effort, because he's like nocturnal anyways.
No, I'm just saying that they might suspect him and...
They're accused.
Oh, yeah, that's possible. But also, I mean, we've all met him. We've all looked at him. He's not stealthy. If they
He'd have to come in the house, get up the stairs,
go out of the house. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they'd know. But, that's a good point. So we just
should I go
for somebody to come get us?
Should I go check on him? Or
that's why I'm saying I think we're supposed to wait here for somebody to come get us. I'm imagining they don't want us to leave.
Well, there's a break in the conversation there. You hear from outside some voices approaching and some footsteps. You hear what sounds like Lumal's voice. Lumal Modrek. As he's getting closer, you catch when he starts saying, corroborate their stories, separate them. Something goes by, and there's a couple of raps on the door, and opens. You see what appears to be one of the guardsmen, not from the house, like one of the actual guards in for the city. Just kind of peers in, says, you will need to be separated for now.
We have another one of our friends who's in the barn. We need to make sure he's okay.
He's been secured. He's fine.
He's secured?
He looked at you just as, yes, he's fine.
Okay. I leaned on Sam. I think they're about to secure us as well. So, do you have a specific place in mind for us all to go and be?
Yes, we'll escort you, please.
Okay. Right.
He opens the door.
Give me 1 second. I'm going to grab my yeah. I just grab my bag.
4 more guards out, kind of behind the area, and they just kind of split you up into different rooms.
So I make sure to grab my bag before I leave. Just because I want to have my stuff. Just in case.
And I make sure to glance down the murder room just to see if I can see anything specific, let
me yell at my bird real
besides
quick.
the dead bodies.
Yell at my bird.
If he allows me.
Give me a diplomacy real quick, Sam.
Okay, I'll do it. Okay.
Ooh. I'm sure your bird will be fine.
All right.
So
he's not going to argue.
You guys get separated. Lamia, go ahead and roll a perception as you're like the opposite side of the hall from the murder room, but still try to kind of get a look in there to see what you can spot. 22. It's a good check. You see, so just outside at the obvious things that all of you are able to see, you see one of the house guard outside the room with Lumal over there, and Miles are just outside the room. You can see there's A couple of them, a couple of the city guards are inside the room. Lamia, you're just barely able to pick up. You're pretty sure you see Ravjik himself, kind of sitting at the head of the bed that's kind of pushed up against the opposite wall, like the far wall. He seems to be sitting up, like with his back pressed against it, and just completely like keeled over forward, with just crimson all the way down the front of him. And you can see that the soldier guy that is in there, wearing gloves, kind of walks over and sort of lifts the chin a little bit, and you just see that it looks like his entire throat was torn out from where you're sitting, or from where you're walking. And you can't quite make out the rest of it, other than there's like just splashes of blood throughout the room. But you're pretty sure you see someone's head kind of near the entryway, like near the door against the wall. Just the way it's angled, you don't think the neck could be possibly attached to a body.
Ugh.
That's all you're able to catch just kind of walking by. But
Works for
yeah,
me.
someone somehow did this before anyone noticed. But you're all separated out. Eventually they kind of come to take statements from each of you. I would imagine... I'll still give you a chance, obviously, to elaborate anything you want to, but I would imagine Eli and Sam, you mostly are just... You don't have a lot to tell them, right? You did some daily stuff, you went to bed, this shit popped off, right?
Yep. Put my night blindfold on.
Yeah.
Took a nap, you know.
But starting with Eli, is there anything in particular you wanted to make sure you told them or didn't tell them?
I think sleep masks will become very trendy in the future. They're very helpful. It's nice, blocks out all the peripheral light. If anybody's messing around in your room, it's great. I think everyone will be using them.
You get the reaction that Dave, you're probably expecting. Eli may not realize is coming. They don't seem to appreciate that.
Yeah.
Not really taking your advice. But
I think that's fine. Because I don't have anything else to add, I don't think.
Yeah.
I'm pretty plainly, explain from my perspective, the facts.
Yeah. And then Sam, same with you. Just you give him the facts. Nothing in particular.
I will ask.
Go ahead.
Try and ask. So have we set up a perimeter? Like, have we? Like, do we know if they've come from the inside or outside? I'm trying to dig a little for information on.
I need another diplomacy from you.
Yeah, a straight roll. Yeah, I'll do it. I'm not scared.
Now, see, man, the play is you cooperate fully at the very beginning. Then you start to ask a bunch of questions later when they realize that you're just going to do whatever they say.
Never.
So you're asking him some questions. You see he's still kind of jotting down some of the stuff you told him. And he kind of holds a hand up after a second. He just says, "You, listen, right now, you know who those people are that just died.
Yeah, they're the Modric guys.
Right. And it seems like you might have had some motive. So there's not a whole lot I can tell you.
To kill them?
I know you're not from here, but
like
people
that.
have killed for less.
Like that, sorry.
I'm no detective. I don't know what you're capable of. But you do have a reason. He shrugs.
Okay.
So there's not much I can tell you right now. I hope you're innocent. And if you're not, I hope you hang.
That's
Flips
fair
the
enough.
clothes and leaves.
I guess.
So
Bro knows what he's about.
We go to Lamia. It's same situation, but obviously your experience here was a bit different.
Yeah.
So how much do you tell them?
Well, I did react really fucking fast to the scream. So Lamia will tell the truth in that she was having a nightmare of someone peeking into her room. But otherwise, I was asleep.
You had a nightmare of someone peeking into your room.
Mm-hmm.
You sure this was a dream?
Honestly, I don't 100% know. But I believe it was because I think my body was still in bed.
Did you get a description of this person?
I wasn't able to get to the door to look at the eye.
Okay. Did you leave the room during the night at any point? Or
Not until the scream happened.
okay. Writes a few things down. Anything else you want to tell him? Or you want to try to ask any questions? Obviously, you can do that too.
No, because not correct. Currently, they're doing the questioning phase, obviously. So
You can also tell these are city guards, so they're just taking down information. This isn't.
Yep.
These aren't detectives, right?
Right, but it's still like I don't want to be more resistant than I need to be.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you let him take his notes, ask his questions. Do you actually tell him what your dream, like the rest of what happened with your dream, about Naloxifix, any of that stuff?
No.
Okay.
I just do the dream. I had the nightmare of someone peeking into our room.
Okay.
Look, I promise I'm not crazy. What I'm about to tell you is going to sound super crazy.
I promise I'm not crazy. Write something down.
This is scribbles furiously.
Probably. Somebody's crazy.
Look what y'all did to golf ball. Wow. So that goes through. He asks a few other questions. Finally leaves the room. You were all otherwise left by yourselves. Sam, eventually, Bird comes to the window of the room you're at. I'm assuming you let him in. So
yeah, I go, is the guard still there?
No, this is after the guards leave.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You're just left by yourself in the room.
This is probably past that whatever minute mark that lasts, but
did you not?
There's a minute per level, right?
Oh, yes, it's well past that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'll be right back.
Okay.
Yeah, let him in.
Okay. All right, so Bird's back in there. Oh, I guess I should ask: is there any other interaction you wanted to do before the guards leave? I'm assuming Molly didn't, but I guess I'm asking Dave mostly. Or do you just let him go?
I'm yeah, like I said, I'm gonna just cooperate as much as humanly possible, or demily possible at first, and then I will start asking questions once I feel like I have established a rapport with these guys. Because obviously, like you said, these are just dudes. There's gonna be a detective who comes in later, and that's like my assumption. We're just giving statements at this point, right? So just cooperate, give your statement, wait for the like actual questioning to ask my own questions. So I don't have anything to say to these dudes. These blokes. Oh, I felt good. I need a high school desk solely for popping my back.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. I just need one. So if anybody's just throwing one out, I'll take it.
Well, we could do a whole heist. We could get some high visibility, a clipboard, and a ladder.
It's just high vis and a clipboard.
Go into Norman High.
He is right down the road. If Norman High doesn't work, we just try Norman North, right?
Yeah.
He's
right down the road.
Not one, then the other.
Trying to give Giselle a second to get back here.
Yeah.
since we're giving her a little space time, I'm going to say one more cool thing about the Resident Evil 4 remake that I enjoyed is that they reused a lot of the treasure style stuff from the OG. Like it's a lot of the same cool stuff, and it like is still cool. You know what I mean? I don't know. It feels very much like the same game basically, and I enjoyed that.
They didn't have the lever action in that SIG in the old one, did they? They didn't have a lever action, did they?
No, they didn't. Oh, do you know what though? When you beat the game, by the way, you get the pinstripe like Chicago gangster clothing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's one of the things that you unlock. You also unlock professional. So out of guns that are unlockables, I assume the Chicago typewriter, maybe the weird laser gun.
Chicago typewriter, Smith and Wesson 500, and the I forget what the other one is, but
they had that laser gun from the GameCube version, right? The weird energy gun thing. Yeah, it was only in the GameCube version, I think. But that was one of my questions. Like, what? Like, if they added new guns, what new guns did they add? Well, I guess that answers the question. Is those two?
Yep.
Basically.
That's basically it. Well, they added the MP5. That wasn't in the original.
Oh, was it not?
No. The only submachine gun in the original was the TMP.
TMP? Oh, interesting.
The only submachine gun. They also added the AR rifle because that was not in the original.
They didn't have an AR?
Either.
Okay. Nope. Interesting. I thought they had that as well.
No.
But they had the SLA and the bolt action, of course, yes.
Yeah, they had the two rifles. They had the two magnums, the Killer 7 and the Broken Butterfly were both in
I thought they had a PSG in it instead of the SLA.
It's a PSG. It's a sniper rifle, though. They had a semi-automatic sniper rifle. It looks different in the new one. You're right, because it's called the Stingray now. It was basically a PSG. Okay,
so they did change it, because in the old one it was a PSG, and the new one it's a G36 platform. It's like the civilian G36.
Yeah. It is different, but it's still just a semi-automatic sniper rifle.
Interesting.
Yep. But the handguns, they got the Blacktail, they have Matilda, they have the starting handgun, which is just called like handgun or something. Then the Punisher as well. So all of those are in Red 9. All of those are from the original. So, and then the two shotguns, or the three shotguns. I mean, the Riot Gun, the Striker, and the Mossberg, basically the 870.
Okay, well, we'll do something else while we're waiting on her.
Yeah.
So Sam,
speak of it. There she goes.
Welcome back. So Sam, I'm gonna say you were the one left in your room there, or technically, Eli and Rahala's room. Let me see. Okay, so you can hear a conversation going on through, like, barely kind of through the wall. Mm-hmm. They're not particularly thin. It's a well-made house, but you can hear it a little bit. You can tell that there's a bit of emotion in the voices, so they're a little bit raised. Do you try to eavesdrop or listen in or anything like that while you're waiting?
I mean, sure. Like I'm not excessively, what do you call that, nosy, but I am curious to learn what I can.
Okay. So you kind of go, like, lean over, like, toward the wall a little bit and see if you can make out anything. Go ahead and roll perception.
Are the walls made of wood that were once in a forest?
Yep, but that does not make this a forest. 17. So you hear Miles's voice. You're just like, it don't make no sense, alright? My sister's not the type. I'm sure you know that much. And these people, look, I've seen their combat capabilities, and I'm quite good at getting the measure of a man. They were not capable of doing this under everybody's noses. Now, something else is going on here. I'm aware you're not the person to talk to about that. I just want it to go down in your goddamn notes. And you kind of just hear him going off a little bit. It's mostly what you're hearing. Eventually you hear the door open. That conversation, like, actually carries out into the hallway. And you can start to kind of hear the guard's voice that he's talking to. It's just like, yeah, I understand. It's just, look, we still need to treat. There's a lot we don't know. That's kind of where it ends. Excuse me. Checking something here. Oh, there we go. All right, so a few more minutes pass. Does anyone try to do anything when it's just otherwise quiet? You're just kind of rotting away in those rooms.
Nope. I just sit there and bide my time, tap my fingers on the table a little bit, try and listen, obviously, but I'm not straining, I'm not getting by the door, I'm not sticking my ear on anything, I'm just sitting still in the room waiting for people to come.
Okay. Go back to you then. Anyone else? Just
is there a window in my room?
Yeah. There's a window to the grounds. There are none of these rooms have windows that look into the grand hall.
I will stare out that window.
Okay.
And try and listen out, I guess, but more specifically just seeing if I can see the people and etc. rushing by or whatever.
Okay. Go ahead and make me a perception check real quick. God. 15. You do see a couple of familiar faces go by. You see Casimira and Lumal kind of walking across the grounds on the outside.
Wait, no, and never mind.
So what?
Sorry. In my head, I mixed up Casimira with Nomula, and I was going to ask if she was still covered in blood, but...
Oh, yeah, no. Different person. You see them kind of walking by. It looks like Casimira is kind of keeping pace. Like she's almost chasing them all, but they're just walking quickly. You can't quite make out what they're saying, but it seems like they're having a fairly heated conversation. Yeah, 15, yeah. You can't quite make out what they're saying as they go by. That it?
Yes, sir.
Anyway, Sam.
Yo.
Anything else, or are we moving on?
Oh, no.
You good? Okay. You guys actually wait in your rooms close to an hour. And if that changes anything, let me know.
Yep.
Okay?
I start getting bored.
Yeah, you would. Do you do anything
dirty?
With this boredom? I don't know. Eli. Probably not. I was about to ask Eli, is your room dirty? And then I realized the answer to that question was obvious.
Nope.
Yeah.
Did he leave any books in here?
No, I took all my kit with me.
I'm bored.
Rahala might have left books in there, though. We were sharing
pacing.
the room.
Yeah, he's
pacing
not
around.
Short. Yeah, Rahala definitely had some books, but you'd have to go through her bag to find them.
No. It's not what Sam would do, but now he's gonna be pacing around, kind of sighing a bunch because he's bored.
Yeah. So yeah, close to an hour passes, with that boredom ramping up, of course, before finally, excuse me, they're gonna first go. Yeah, they're first gonna go to you, Sam. Actually, thankfully, the door just opens. And you see an unarmored man standing there. He's wearing a very nice kind of a jacket with summer colors, mostly brown. It's leather. He has a kind of a dark burgundy vest underneath that. Walks in, sort of cleaning off a pair of spectacles. He says, Good. So I guess we'll call this morning, Mr. Goodbean. I'll be the detective who's interrogating you today. Puts the glasses on. It'd be easier if you have a seat for now.
All right. Sit down. Well, is there more than one chair in this room?
I'd say so, yeah.
Okay. Then, yeah, I'll sit in one. I was going to offer him the chair and sit on the bed. There was only.
So you take the chair. He does not take a seat. As he walks in, you see 3 of the city guards come in behind him, so the room ends up a little... It's not cramped. It's a fairly decent-sized room, but it's like a little more cramped. He kind of walks in and sees the 3 of them, and he kind of pauses and has this look on his face of, like... a mix of, like, frustration and concern. And you hear of another person from kind of outside the room. She's just like, I don't want it to get cramped in there. Fine. Just close the door.
If y'all are feeling apprehensive, I'll start to take the sword off my belt, or however I have it attached. And
yeah,
it's like, you can set that outside. That way,
one of
you're not worried.
One of the guards takes it and will hand it off to the other one outside. He says, I appreciate your cooperation. So, just a few questions for you. The first, where are you from, Mr. Goodbean?
Delancha. Or you want more specifics? Where am I from?
I know you haven't figured it out yet.
Where?
I know you're from Northeast. You're from the Northeast.
Yeah, I'm from the Northeast.
Yeah. Yes, Northeast Delancha. Never been there, though I had several cousins study out in those parts. Mostly farmland, I hear.
Part of the Good Bean Farm is where my family is.
You're a farmer, then?
Family is, yes. I've moved on to kind of more adventuring at the moment, doing odd jobs here and there. But yes, most of my life.
Yes, that's... He just nods. Good. Am I to understand that you are here quite specifically because they are the whim of your employer?
Say that again for me.
You're here on the whim of your employer.
Oh, well, yes, he is my employer, so if he tells me we're doing a job, we kind of agree on it, yeah.
Yes, understood. And then you would have no reason to be here were it not for your boss.
Probably. I do have some relatives nearby, the Berksag farm. They're not super far, so I may have been in this area anyway had I not found employment with Eli.
Yes, of course. Well, I do hope this goes well for you. I honestly don't have too much to ask you at the moment.
Okay.
My final question is going to be something that is very important, though it might seem I ask lightly. I do not.
No.
Is there anything at all, Mr. Goodbean, that you would like to tell me of your own volition, so that I don't have to go and sniff it out, like an old hound?
Like, I mean, you obviously know that House Modric were trying to buy out Eli's business, right? You know that already.
Why don't you tell me about it?
I mean, no. I don't want to cast. I don't want to cast suspicion on him, but he's a pretty stand-up guy. He's a pretty good guy. I'm just going to say that it's understandable why we would be suspicious, after them offering us and us refusing.
Just nods.
Heck, I met them when I first came in here. I didn't know who they were, so I introduced myself. They were pretty friendly.
Yes, they were, weren't they? Well, I feel somewhat enlightened. Thank you for your time.
Okay.
I don't see any particular reason to keep you in this room at the moment. Other than you may upset some people by walking about while you're still under suspicion. Though I will ask you to not leave the city.
Understandable.
You do that, no amount of politeness will help you.
I have worked as a guard before. If you need, help securing the perimeter or anything like that, I'd be sure to help do that.
He smiles. I'm sure that won't be necessary.
Okay.
All right. Also, one other piece here. Don't go talk to the members of your party for a bit. Let them come to you. They still have to be questioned.
I have blanked on his name. The big guy in the barn.
Verbrong.
Verbrong. Is Verbrong still in the stable? I would like to go make sure my horse and our animals are okay. I don't want to go in there if he's being held in there. Since you don't want me talking to my friends.
Free to do so. While I'm sure he's capable of having committed these acts, quietly would be quite difficult. The man wouldn't even fit in the door.
Okay. Well, I'd like to check on him if that's all right, and then also our animals.
You're free to do so.
Okay. No, go do that.
He spins and walks out of the room. The guards follow him. He's going to go to you next, Lamia. Or just kind of swings open. Yeah, I'll do that too. Door swings open. Comes waltzing in, followed by three men. He pauses and looks again. The guy's just... I don't... The room's crowded. Then shut the door. Door shuts. Miss Sartor. I'm the detective who will be interrogating you today. Puts the glasses back on.
Okay.
Just a few questions. You're here on the whim of your employer. Explicitly.
Yeah.
Would you be here without his say-so?
Not very likely.
No.
I mean,
no reason at all.
If I had been hired by Batu, then I would be here, potentially. But I was not, so... No, I'd...
jot stuff down. It says, you have connections to Batu.
Yeah.
Professional.
As in my connection with him, or what I call myself?
Yes, Miss Sartor. Would it be a professional connection or a personal connection?
Oh, both. We got to know each other through profession.
And how well do you know one another?
Just like light friends.
Light friends?
Yeah, I don't get the chance to talk to him every day or anything.
He nods. He looks at the others for a moment. Flips a page. Very well. Not sure if his hat is in this particular ring, but I'll be very willing to find out.
Lamia frowns at that.
There's been a murder. I'm not sure if you're aware. These things are quite heavily scrutinized.
I understand. It's just, something like that is an insult to my friend. But I understand you're doing your job too.
It's not merely that I'm doing my job, it's that justice must be served, whether feelings are hurt in the process or not.
Thank you, Ellie. She said she will remember this.
Well, Ellie, you just got... I'm renaming you in the Discord again. Sorry. You're now the grudge keeper.
I'm afraid if you turn out to be a murderer, or if he turns out to be a collaborator, then, quite frankly, I give very little credence to your feelings.
But you would care when I'm proven I'm not the murderer.
But of course. But until then...
All right. Then I look forward to your apology in the future.
I see.
He just chuckles, jots some other things down. Well, if you and your friend are innocent, then you have nothing to worry about. Puts like a dab of ink on there at one point. Flips that closed. Says, Last question, Miss Autor. I think you've given adequately otherwise. Is there anything else you'd like to reveal while I'm here and I'm not having to hunt for it? A man does not like being made a dog of. Anything you want to reveal of your own volition that could come in handy on my investigation?
Did you get the notes from the previous guy?
Of course.
Okay.
But those are only notes.
Well, I mean, like the notes say, before this happened, I had like a nightmare of someone looking into our room.
Is that all that happened in this nightmare? He opens the notebook again.
No, but it's not 100% clear. The most frightening thing of the nightmare was the door opening.
We roll a bluff.
Yeah, I'm super good at that. It's okay. I'm not my other character, so I'm even worse at it.
A natural 20, though.
Hell yeah.
Hey.
So total of 21.
Mm-hmm.
Versus his sense motive.
Ooh.
He still beats you.
Holy heck. Yeah, he beats me.
He's a detective. He
I mean,
by more than 5, in fact.
That's his job.
So there is a noticeable pause. He's been kind of wrapping his pen against the notepad and like moving a bit, but there's like a noticeable pause. It says, "Very well. I look forward to finding out anything else about your curious case."
Sorry, there was I had a thing in mind to say otherwise, but it's not coming to me. Give me just an extra second. Oh, I guess like she doesn't want to paint suspicion on anybody else either, but she will say, when I did run out of the room due to the scream, I immediately noticed that Nomala was covered in blood. I don't know if she was doing any healing or anything, but she seemed very shocked. And
Nods.
Covered in blood. But that's my only like witness account that I can give. So otherwise,
Well,
I was
thank you for
asleep.
that. Yes, of course. It was the middle of the night and all. Very well. Free to leave the room for now, but I think we would all be a bit more comfortable if you stayed within the city's limits.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
May not be good to visit any of your friends for the moment, or Mr. Batu.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
He nods. Have a good morning.
You too.
Leaves. While Sam is wandering around the Grand Hall, I presume. Is there anywhere particular you were going to walk?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm going to the barn to check one of the animals and two.
Other than that, yeah.
Oh no.
Okay, so
pretty much
you'll
headed
be at the
directly
barn for now then. Okay, cool. I didn't know if you wanted to do anything on your way there.
No.
Cool. So we'll come back to you. Okay. All right. We're over here to Mr. Leon F. Kennedave. It's
Leon S plus Kennedy. No,
Eli. Door swings open. The man I described earlier walks in.
All right.
Once again, cleaning his glasses.
he's got some dirty
Mr.
glasses.
Wasif. I hope your morning is going better than certain others.
I mean, I'm not dead, so that's pretty good.
Walks in. You see 3 people come in the room. He pauses and looks over there. But I don't close the door. 3 times. Mr. Wasif, I'm going to be asking you a series of questions. It's in your best interest to answer them very honestly. I've already spoken to the other members of your party, -1. They've been rather forthcoming, at least insofar as enlightening me that you are apparently the brains of this operation.
I mean, I am the owner, operator, proprietor of, Goldwyn Logistics and Retrieval. So, as far as that could be said, the brains, I suppose. But really, Mayor's the brains of the company. But he's not here, so I guess that does mean me.
In a roundabout way, I suppose. Well, Mr. Wasif, let me not insult your intelligence here. I'm sure you can see how this situation looks. Given the attempted buyout, given your proximity to the victims, you have a bit of motive, and we'll call them abilities. Your quirks, as it were. You have a bit of a reputation, you understand.
Yep, word gets round.
It didn't take me long to figure out what it was. You seem a pleasant person, so I won't allay you with all of the labels you've been stuck with, such as creepy, enigmatic, or strange.
Those are the nice ones.
They are. I will, however, ask you why exactly you're here. I'm sure you want to tell me that it was only for this job that was offered.
I mean, yeah, we came here because we were offered a spot to compete in the Spirit's Path by Mr. Markham, and we did our competition, and we did that. We're also escorting a friend of ours, Vibrong, the other arc who's out in the stable. We're also helping escort him west. That was part of this as well. He's working for me now as well, on a bit. And then I want to say we're on a bit of a fact-finding mission for some other things as well, just kind of shoring up some things from a previous job, trying to get some stuff figured out.
Right. Listen, it's very unlikely you were able to do what was done in the other room here. At least, the way it occurred. You will still be suspects. You will still need to stay in the city limits for now. And, of course, that may cause you to run over your time limit to report for the Spirit's Path. I'm not certain. Outside of the clear competition between you and the victims, what you all's motive would be. I haven't got a full picture, I feel. Details missing.
You do know, of course, that House Modric attempted to buy out at least my building, not technically my company, and we refused. So that's obviously not good. I've been told by many people that's not good. I did do some digging into House Modric as well because I wanted to know the kind of people who want to do business with me. Granted, what's their motive for killing their own people? That sounds insane. But I do mean at least I've pressed and I've looked, so that could turn up and look like motive because I've been digging into these people and trying to find out stuff about them. And again, yeah, we were direct competitors, obviously, in this encounter. And we. Other than that, I'd met the victims. Is that what you said? I think you called them just victims. I'd met them once previously when they introduced ourselves to everybody and all of that. I'd legitimately only met them the one time. Seemed nice enough. Yeah, I can't think of a better motive other than obviously the direct competition between my own business and that of Half Modric.
Yes, that's the thing. I don't necessarily think you're guilty. In fact, I hope you're not. But that's not the piece I feel like I'm missing. Why did one of your employees get to the scene before anyone else?
Well, I mean, from what she told me, because we did have a bit of chat, Nomala was the first person on the scene.
Yes.
And she was the only person I saw with blood on her, which means she was definitely there before the rest of us, because none of us have blood on us.
She's quite suspicious, yes. Outside of the character witnesses for her accounts.
But I
consider her part of the scene at the moment.
So you're referring to Lami, of course. She's pretty quick on the reflexes, and she said she'd been having a bad dream, so I guess she wasn't sleeping soundly. Heard her scream and immediately went out the door.
Yes. But that does sound a bit convenient, doesn't it?
It does, but I'm going off of what I've been told as well.
Is that all you were told? He smiles.
I mean, she explained the dream to me, and that there was like the door opening, and there was like some voices or something, and it was really creepy, and she said she felt like she was in danger.
Can you enlighten me on these voices?
I don't know too much about the specifics. She said she heard somebody talking or noise or something. I don't think she really got into the like meat and potatoes of it. We didn't have much time together before we were all separated.
I find that to be inconsistent with the amount of time I left you to each other.
I mean, we were by ourselves for a really long time, but together, not super long. But I'll say this. Look, we recovered an artifact on our previous job from an area.
Grabs his notebook and starts writing shit immediately.
Yeah, from an area, I like vaguely describe, the area we were going and stuff. And this artifact had some questionable effects on people's mentality, right? It could have you bad dreams. You could hear whispers. You could hear humming and stones and things. And from what she explained to me, this is a side effect of that experience. The dream. This is what she thought it was. And then it turns out there was a murder.
It turns out, yes. Closes it. I have one more of your group to question. The one in the black dress.
Oh, Rahala.
Yes. Feel free to go see the rest of your party, except her.
Excellent.
Thank you for your candor, Mr. Wasif.
Has anybody checked on Fabron? Because he's not the happiest with folks.
Goodbean is checking on him now. Last I saw, he was fine. He's a bit tired and grumpy because, well, we're just touching, I think, his normal bedtime hours.
Yeah, he usually stands around and sleeps about this time. Sleeps with his eyes open.
He is not a suspect.
Well, that's good.
I would adequate reason for him to be, but he just motions to the size of the doors.
Yeah, people are unfairly biased against me at times because of the things I can do in my appearance. Vibrong gets that significantly more, so I was concerned that maybe a less understanding individual might immediately throw it to him.
He's less understanding.
Well, you seem to be, what's the right word I want to say? Not that you're not prejudiced, but you don't let your biases affect your decision making.
I'll take that as a compliment.
It's supposed to be. You're analytical. That's what you're supposed to do, right?
Yes. Now, if you're done trying to butter me up, I have another witness to question.
You're not a role, mate. But I'll go check on everybody else then.
He leaves. So as you're kind of seeing him out, you see him go to another room that Rahala's in. Sam, you get out there where Varbrong is. As soon as you come in, he seems like he's kind of just sort of been pacing in there. He takes a couple of steps towards you and says, "What happened?"
Real bad shit.
Sorry.
One of the rival groups were. I'm thinking of a better word than killed violently. Killed violently in their room.
Massacred, butchered,
Eviscerated is the word I
Yeah,
was thinking.
there you go. I was like
uh,
gonna just start throwing synonyms.
It
at the
was
wall.
pretty graphic and violent looking, anyway. Didn't see a whole lot, but lots of blood in there.
Would have been in here the whole time.
Yeah. Thinking you would have to have snuck into the house, snuck through the halls into their room, and snuck up on them. Not saying you couldn't do that, but it's a pretty far-fetched thing for you to want to do for seemingly no reason. Yeah. They've done question me and they're questioning the others, and I just want to check on the animals and check on you. Make sure you're doing okay down here. Yeah.
He nods. The animals do seem a bit restless. All of them seem a bit restless. You don't know if it's because Varbrong has been pacing around, so they're a little like, what the fuck? Why is he agitated? We should be agitated. Everyone be agitated. You don't know if it's just the energy of the area, or if like something else went on or what.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, they're currently questioning folks, trying to make sure everybody's story's straight, and see if that might give them a lead on who did this awful thing. I'm not too sure on the process they do.
You have to be here for that.
They said we can't leave the city until they decide to let us leave the city. He didn't actually say.
He's kind of looking around at the barn, almost like he's looking at the inside of a cage at this point.
No, I mean, you can probably walk around the grounds. You just probably shouldn't leave the city. Is the thing.
Don't want to be in the city.
Yeah, I understand.
Not going to sleep.
Understandable. I'm gonna brush these horses if you wanted to, maybe help, give you something to do. They're pretty riled up. Might smell the blood.
There's knives in
what?
the dark. Knives in dark. I'm going to keep an eye out. He just gets up and walks out of the barn. You just hear him tromping around outside the barn, not like walking off, like he's literally making a circuit around it. Lamia, what were you doing once you were allowed to leave?
Lamia was going to make her way to that one room that basically feels like it's outside without actually being outside.
Okay, sitting room.
And she's just basically trying to see if she can feel like that's the place she should be. And that feeling before of, hey, this, if you could sleep here, it's like you would be sleeping outside. That kind of feeling.
Yeah, sure. You kind of still have that sense. It's a space that feels more open than it actually is, which helps.
Okay. And yeah, I guess along the way she'll keep an eye out for any of the people she knows or for hearing any gossip. And while she's in the room, she'll listen out for gossip too, because why not? Got nothing else better to do.
You see that most of the people are gathered on the other side of the other end of the Grand Hall, like the north end of it, near the room where the murder happened. That's where kind of the most people just are at. There's not a whole lot of moving around at the moment. Other than you might see... No, you wouldn't see Eli yet. You do see... Excuse me, Miles. You see Clint over there. So as you're walking, Clint actually kind of looks over. He seems to see you walk by, and You can kind of tell there's like he almost says something, and he decides against it. Kind of goes back to figuring out whatever they're all talking about over there. You can tell the discussion is a little bit heated over by that room. Nobody's yelling, just there's a little bit of raised voices. Okay, so you head to the sitting room. You won't be able to hear anything from in there. It's a little too far from everything else, plus there's walls in between.
Yeah, but for all I know, there
kind of
could be
going
someone
by.
just outside or something like that. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I mean, you'd be able to see since it's mostly windows. But you don't really see anyone going by outside either. Not on... This is the west end of the manor, so you don't really see anyone even walking by as much. Like, you see, maybe one of the groundskeepers come by and is, like, working in the garden for a little bit, and then they screw off very quickly. And then, Eli, where were you headed?
I also wanted to go check on Verbrong real quick, but I'm gonna just basically pop in and like see that Sam is there and just kind of give the little wave and be like thumbs up, everything good, and then I'll like, you know, kind of wander off somewhere else. And I'm gonna check um uh like I guess I'm just gonna kind of wander a bit around the manor and just try and kind of check on everything. But I also want to try and be super nonchalant and see if Volga's like okay, because I know she's staff there, and I don't want to, but I don't want to be obvious about it again.
We'll do bluff to see if you just how nonchalanto you can be.
Nonchalanto is my wrestling name, you guys. Anyways,
He's very nonchalanto. Okay, so yeah, you're moving around, kind of keeping yourself a little bit, and not rustling feathers. You're acting the part of someone who is probably much more walking on eggshells than you actually feel like you need to. You specifically, I know Eli's temperament is not to be like that. So
yeah, I'm very much no worries. It's fine.
Yeah, aloof. He's a bit aloof. At times. But you're able to find Volga. Let's see. Yeah, you'd find her in the dining hall, so near the entrance. She's be clearing up after apparently like a few people were in there eating briefly. And they're like kind of clearing stuff down. She looks a little bit tired, along with one of the other staff. You see the other couple of help kind of in the room. When you come in, there's an immediate shift in like the energy in the room. Like they get very quiet and like don't make eye contact with you, don't really look at you, grab stuff and like leave. And they look, because Volga sort of lags a little bit. And they kind of, you see one of them kind of giving her a look like, what the fuck are you doing? Let's go. And then she doesn't go anywhere and they just leave. And once it's just you two in there, she just goes, I'm guessing you're not here to murder me.
Not hand clean on it.
You guys are suspects?
That's what I've heard.
She nods. Unfortunately, I didn't see anything.
I didn't expect you to. I just want to make sure everything was okay and maybe they weren't being crazy about anything and messing with anybody here. And that obviously you weren't hit because we only saw 3 people get.
It's not okay, no, but I am not hurt, if that's what you're asking.
Yeah.
I think something else is going on, though. I got to look in the room. I mean, they're all dead, of course. She starts, like, kind of being busy.
Yeah.
There's not really anything else to do, so she's, like, adjusting the tablecloth and, like, just moving dishes and shit around. Because one of them was beheaded. One was like split all the way down their whole torso. The other guy's throat was ripped out. It doesn't make any sense. I've seen people be murdered in their sleep like this before, but not like this. There's something that's not right about it. This kind of thing isn't quiet either. Like, there's 3 people in this room, and none of them wake up to defend themselves.
Right. It does sound very suspicious and strange.
Screams of magic.
Yeah, that's probably one of the reasons I'm a suspect.
Those were competent and capable fighters and survivalists. I don't know.
Yeah, they were definitely not pushovers.
But I think it's stupid that you're suspects, by the way. I get it a little, but what do you really have to gain? You're obviously going to be suspects if you do this.
Right. Well, I think they're definitely covering all their bases on us, right? You know, they want to make sure that it looks to the outside world as all reasonable precaution and steps have been taken.
Well, that's fine, I guess, but I'll be honest with you, I don't really care about that. Look, even if you did kill them, I don't want to see my friend who already got out of essentially a prison have to go back. So how can I help?
I think you've done as much as you can at the moment, but if anything comes up, I'll let you know. And if you hear anything, let me know. But also, be honest with the detective if he ever asks you. Yeah. No, I mean, like, he's going to find out. I haven't said anything about the two of us knowing each other, but it didn't come up in any way. It didn't seem relevant. But I mean, if he asks you questions about what you've seen or what you've done here, tell him.
All right. If you insist. I'm just going to try to avoid him needing to talk to me then.
I think it's probably best for everybody anyways.
Okay. I'll let you know if I find out anything. This message indicating the spell.
Grab it. I'll see you then. Or grab it. Wave. Whatever. Hand motions.
You know what she's talking about.
Yes. Yes. Words. I am competent speaker person. Sometimes.
While you're doing that, Sam, I'm guessing you kind of wrap up with your groom out there.
Brushy, you get all the animals. Try to settle down, I guess.
Give me animal handling.
Sure.
Or handle animal.
Handle those animals. God, I can't talk.
Be the manimal that you want to be. Why are they courting snails? No,
I mean, you definitely get distracted by a snail. Yeah. You're trying to like calm them down, and you're kind of distracted by like you're just not necessarily you're not getting to that meditative state of doing your work and stuff, and then right as you're about to, you like brush over a snail and like knock it off of Ginger, and like, oh crap, sorry buddy. You gotta go out and make sure he doesn't get trampled on, because she's kind of a little agitated. This snail has a bright pink body, and its shell looks it's kind of got like the robin's egg blue with little bitty like darker blue spots along it.
With dark spots?
Mm-hmm. Dark blue spots, like navy blue.
You beat me to it.
Scrub. We're both immediately typing in Discord.
Yeah.
There's a snail! That sucks.
They definitely don't calm down.
Yeah. Oh, maybe so they got all that blood cleaned up. There's probably nothing I can really do to settle them down too much. Trying to give a reasonable, totally not my fault. You know.
Right. Well, I mean, you know, also just like there is a tension in the air, right? Like, so, you know, they can sense it. Excuse me. So, what do you do after that?
I will just head back inside and we can see if who's in their rooms.
Okay, so you head back inside. Lamia, are you staying? Are you still in the sitting room?
Yeah, because I
Unless you're
don't want to
chilling in there.
go be in a place where, people are going to potentially point at me and be like, the murderer or something like that. And I don't want to go near the murder room, even though I really want to see inside of it. I don't want to go over there and obviously be like, oh, the criminal has returned, kind of thing.
Okay, excellent. So, Eli, as you're leaving the dining hall, Clint kind of walks. He's like walking by, and he just kind of leans over and grabs your arm for a second and goes, "Walk with me."
I will oblige.
He'll go over, knock on the sitting room door. He like opens it, sees you in there, Lamia, and he just kind of beckons you very quickly and starts walking toward the entrance, where you guys will run into Sam.
Shoulder check, yeah.
Mr. Goodman, we're going on a walk.
Okay.
Keep it. So you turn around, head back outside.
Sure.
So, oh, thing I forgot to mention. Clear day. It is not.
Oh,
raining.
not
That's
Very rare.
it's almost like a bad omen.
Right?
You'd think it's like, oh, it's sunny and nice, it's good, but
I just realized I forgot to mention that. That yeah, it is a clear day. So you guys start kind of walking around. He's just like, it's just where to get to see it. It's so sunny out here.
That's a little
just
strange.
kind of looking up in the air and taking like big deep breaths. Birds are chirping. You guys kind of walk around to the side of the house. Sort of back the way that you came, Sam, a little bit, so you can see the barn over there. You see Varbrong is still just like kind of. It really seems more like he's got nervous energy. It's probably why he's like going all like making his circuits. But you see him just tromping around the barn still. So the rest of you see that for the first time. You see that's what he's been doing. You guys get kind of near the north end, sort of like the rear of the home. Mostly by yourself. You see a few of the people tending to the garden back there. And Clint speaks up again and says, "Now I know y'all didn't do that. I think we're all quite availed of that information.
Mm-hmm.
It don't make no sense. This is obviously some kind of setup, and it is a very tough situation. I already sent some people to look for the missing folks, Clover's group, and y'all met him. They're out researching that. They're not suspicious in this case. The other team y'all sparred was not on the premises that night. Right now, the way I see it, at least if I'm putting myself in the investigator's shoes, investigator who has a habit of not telling people his name.
I noticed that too.
Oh,
I was going
that's
to
a
ask
good
him,
point.
but no, that was one of the things I was going to ask, but then I decided not to yet.
Yeah, well, just because I think that's mighty rude, his name is Garan. Garan. It's his surname. I didn't get his proper one. Nor his hearth. I'm not sure if he's even local myself. Regardless, the way I'm seeing it from his perspective, the suspects are yourselves and my oldest daughter. I'm a man of integrity. I'm not here to tell you I'm throwing you under the bus. And if that was what was going to happen, I would straight tell you.
Well,
I mean, not to be argumentative is the wrong word here. How in the world could Nyma have bisected an individual?
She couldn't have, but one of the things you'll learn very quickly is that kids, people are a lot like electricity. They take the path of least resistance. They're going to go with what is the easiest to do, and the longer that you have them embroiled in things they're going to get desensitized to, the more that tendency comes out. And these are all people who have been seeing all sorts of terrible things, maybe in multiple cities. And to them, there's only two ways this could have happened. Magic's beyond them, right? So there's two ways this could have happened. There's two particular parties that it could have been a part of. And they're just going to narrow it down. That's what they're going to focus on. Unless this detective man is a lot better than he appears, in my opinion, that's what we're getting. Unless we figure something else out.
I mean,
it should be something else because, like you said, it's definitely not us. And yeah, she was covered in massive amounts of blood, but I don't think your daughter would do something like that. Not even sure if she could.
Of course not.
Did you hear a reason for all that blood being on her? I mean, I'm just curious myself.
Kind of glances back and says,
I assumed it was because she was trying to. She is a faithfully person trying to do what she could, but
she does not know.
I mean,
oh boy.
Also, yeah, it doesn't sound good. But I was gonna say also, mate, you bisect a person. There's a lot of. I'm still trying to figure out the math of how this worked, but yeah,
She went to bed and woke up in that room.
Well, it may not have been her fault.
Still storming. So it might not have been, but I'm more thinking about logistically her capabilities. I know my daughter fairly well. She's somewhat gifted in divine magics, but not. Y'all gotta understand, I've been around a while.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen the kind of things that might be capable of that, but I sure ain't seen them here. I don't think it's you, and I don't think it's her.
The only things I've seen some weird stuff, but anyways, the only things I can think of is something magical or not necessarily of this, traditional realm capable, right? I mean, to just do that because the crazy part is we didn't wake up till Nyma screamed. I'm pretty sure I'd have heard somebody being ripped in half or the head taken off or whatever, right?
Yeah. They didn't make a noise.
I'm looking around confused, I'm not the crazy one, right?
I mean, about spells and things. Could there be a spell that would make it very quiet in there, or?
I mean, I suppose in theory you could make it to where no noise escaped the room.
It is.
It's doable.
Create complete silence.
Right.
That is true.
And if it was complete silence,
tried to use in the manner, but there are restrictions in place.
I was gonna say basically none, but that's good.
I talked to my bird, but that's about it.
That is not of the caliber of spell that there are restrictions for.
No.
Nods.
They all were confirmed dead, right?
There ain't no coming back from that, honey.
I've never tried to live without my head, but I imagine it's pretty tough.
I mean, nothing is as doubtful as it is. Nothing is impossible. Let's be real with that. As highly improbable as it is, still not impossible.
Look, Sam, I've been attacked by a flying book.
I've been attacked by a man that changed into a bear.
I find that significantly more probable than somebody surviving without Sans head.
Yeah. If a man can turn into a bear.
I've been attacked by a book that changed into a bear. That's a weird, small world.
Was it a book-sized bear? Or like...
Oh, it sure wasn't. That's what was part of what was so surprising about it. But we're getting into something else here.
It's not possible that it could have been an infight, could it?
Triple suicide.
Yeah, right. Who get the third person? That was my question. Yeah.
Ripped himself in half.
Suppose it could. Now,
sorry.
We run into a few difficulties.
Yeah.
Of the people, honestly, in this whole city, the one who is most qualified to investigate the wounds and figure out logically the order they occurred in and what is and is not possible with them is currently the person under the most suspicion. And it is not my area of expertise either. So, I can't tell for sure. What we have been able to figure out is that these people did not seem to have tried to defend themselves. Kledig was the only one, that's the barbarian lady, she's the only one who seemed to have moved before something happened to her. Her head was removed. Here's the situation we're in, though. Y'all may not all be completely familiar with the way that the justice system works here in Setsegia, and maybe you, says to the native. It's not, he looks at you saying, it's not like in big cities in Delancia, where the onus is on the accuser entirely. The logic here is a bit different. They don't have to prove that, without a shadow of a doubt, that y'all did something nefarious. It's just got to make enough sense to convince a council. What we need to do is throw the scent off of y'all. I'm not so worried that they're going to get something on my daughter. I feel for her, and I'm mighty upset that she's in this position, but I'm confident the strength of the people in this city, knowing her character, knowing her capabilities, knowing her and our family, we can get her name cleared. We need to work on making it absolute certain y'all are not suspected. We can deal with all of that here and get y'all moved on to do your job. I know it seems like it's not important, but that, I think, is the best place for you to be at the moment. The same reason you came here in the first place. Solidifying that alibi. But we can't do that just yet. Good.
With the law here, do they consider a case unsolvable, or do they go until they find the most likely subject and basically blame them?
Yeah, from what I know, in very rare cases, you could have a sort of a hung jury, in a sense. And I'll tell you, in a legal sense, that remains unsolved. But this is a country of frontiersmen, and we all know how frontier justice works.
I'm gonna say, if it's not us and not her, and there's no other suspects, in theory they might say, it could be a outside individual who they do not know of and can't be a suspect. But
we can get into a position where we can have, you know what I mean? Like, if we know, at least, if we get you guys cleared, right? Mm-hmm. We can get my daughter cleared. Then we can drive a real investigation into this. Mm-hmm. Right? Not letting it rest, people get restless and start coming after you. But knocking all the bullshit off of it, you know what I mean? But we're going to have to start somewhere. And unfortunately, there's not a whole lot I can do. The more that I'm seen to be involved, the worse. Same with Miles. And same with Casimir, unfortunately. But y'all are going to have a little bit of freedom coming up here in a bit. Because you handled yourselves mighty well with that detective. And there's not a whole lot he can do right now. You might have a night, you might have two. Figure out what you can. Myself, I won't be in the manor. There's another property I've got closer to the center of the city. I'm going to be there with my daughter. I've had an agreement that she can be held there at the moment, and I'm going to be there with her. Miles will still be here. Casimir will still be here. Rugeki will still be here. So you'll have to mind yourselves. It's going to look a lot better on you if you don't wander throughout the city too much.
Understandable.
I trust y'all to fill in Miss Rahada on all this as well.
Right. We, certainly will. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, I guess we got to figure out something so that you don't just blame us, right?
Yeah, you do. And if whatever you figure out, pass it on to one of them. They can get that information out, so it's not coming from you necessarily.
All right.
Now, one of the tougher questions. Y'all have any idea where to start?
No, other than asking questions, but I mean, that's the problem is people aren't necessarily going to want to answer our questions on it, right? So
They're going to groan at me, but there was a lot of blood on the ground. Were there any footprints in or out of that room?
That is a great question. None that they found. And so they've been distracting the hell out of me, I'll tell you what.
Yeah, they're not going to let us in there, are they, to investigate the crime scene? Because that'd be where I would want to start.
They're not. Now.
No, Ellie, we cannot follow the Snells.
They will tell us they saw. They see everything.
I can talk to animals and talk to snails. Snails are animals.
They're vermin, technically.
Oh.
Yeah.
Boo.
Animals.
They're actually an eldritch horror, and he's not telling you that. Anyways, they're abominations.
Yeah. They're aberrants.
Lamia is going to mutter, Red Fang.
Sorry, what now?
Red Fang. She's going to mutter that.
No, that was in character.
Oh. Well, you know, and she'll just shrug it off.
Yeah, Clint will just... What about a Red Fang?
There was... I mean, that's up to you.
Well, I once heard a story about a ninja.
Stop with the inside jokes, all right?
Yeah.
I'll stop.
Oh, God. Well, I didn't even tell this to the detective. Though, I had a nightmare before the screaming happened. And there was a voice in there said something about a red fang in claw, wearing a mask of a man, but a monster inside.
That's right.
Frowns.
The claw's in a sheath, right? Though.
Yeah, he carries his fangs in a sheath, and he is silent.
Fangs in a sheath. Obviously, a reference to some kind of weapon. Are you a stranger to prophetic dreams and the like?
Oh, absolutely. I am not. Well, wasn't divinely connected.
I mean, I've had some strange dreams, so I kind of get where that comes from.
That is an interesting thing that happened to you. There is something a little familiar about that statement. The red fang. It's not really that it's the fang part. The red could be anything. Usually blood or danger. The fang is that's a dangerous order. Assassins, in fact. I have never once heard of them being in Setsegia. They should be far, far from here. They don't do well in lands of spirits and animism. They're a cursed order. Something terrible that they did a long time ago. Their patron, their founder, passed down this scourge onto the rest of his clan. The land rejects these people. And this is a land that I think can reject mighty hard. It wouldn't make sense for them to be here. No, I think that might be chasing a wild goose.
Okay. That was just, I guess, an idea.
He nods. Sometime tonight, we'll be rid of the city guard and the like for a bit. I'm going to make sure of that. Most of them are going to come with me. There'll still be a few around the grounds, so if you're outside, they can see you. If you're at the windows, they can see you. Doing anything suspicious, just trust that there are eyes around. Now, the ones on the inside, however, they'll be reasonable. You might have to talk yourself into some spots if you're trying to do something that you don't think that normally people will let you do, or you may have to get creative. But I think y'all have the skills to get at least enough to clear yourselves. Obviously, if I didn't believe in you, if I didn't trust you, I wouldn't be sharing this with you. It don't make no sense, but none of this makes no sense.
Right.
Don't make sense for Modrek, don't make sense for you. Sir, don't make sense for my daughter. I'm not sure who had it out for Team Ravjik. But somebody did. They had a reason for doing what they did, and the only one right now that I can think of, unless y'all have a better one, is try to keep y'all out of the competition. I know it sounds petty, but it's the biggest impact it's had so far other than the taking of lives. Y'all could be stuck here for quite some time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I could even go so far as to say to keep me out of the competition, since I'm your sponsor.
It is an angle, for sure.
The awful steep price to pay for... Well, I'm not going to wax morals with you. We have been chatting for quite a while, so I'm going to go ahead and break off with the group now. And you should probably go ahead and talk to your friend. I'm sure she's done being interrogated by now.
Right. We'll definitely go feel her in. Thanks.
I'd like to, if you need anything, you know where to find me, but you certainly shouldn't. Not unless it's an emergency.
Right.
Kind of whoever's closest, he'll kind of give a pat on the shoulder and breaks away. Ellie, leave golf ball alone. That's not even his name. This man's behind everything. He did nothing wrong except get his butt kicked twice. Like,
oh, the poor man.
But he'll walk off for now. Leaves you guys to yourselves for the moment. Do you guys head anywhere specific? Do you talk first?
I mean, I want to go gather Rahala essentially and fill her in. But if anybody has anything to say prior to that, I would. Oh, I am going to tell everybody. I'm going to be like, so I did when I was talking to the detective. He did say like that Verbrong probably isn't a suspect because just like how would he get in there? Doesn't even fit through the doors. So at least that's good, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, I was nodding.
But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say before we go get Rahala.
Did I get an idea that the detective probably saw through my bluff, Patrick? No? Okay, then I won't mention that.
Nope, you got what you got from what he said.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait to ask you guys what he asked you when we get Rahala, by the way. But I am gonna ask that question just so Patrick, you know that when we're all reunited, essentially, I will ask that question.
I mean, yeah, you're able to go find her easy enough. She's actually kind of looking for you. Do you gather anywhere specific? Do you want to gather outside since it's actually sunny? Are you going to go to your rooms? Or
I want to enjoy the daylight while we have it.
Yeah.
Okay. Together, just kind of empty, clear space outside, kind of away from the workers and stuff. Okay, so y'all conglomerate, coagulate, cooperate, commiserate.
Yeah, all those things.
Cohabitate. Anyway, you gather. No. And then you, I guess, ask them what they were asked. So I'll let you guys answer that.
Let's see. I was asked if I wanted to show anything or tell anything that I wouldn't want him sniffing out, I guess. I mentioned that I had a friend in Batu. He asked if I would be here if we weren't employed, if I wasn't employed under you, which I didn't think would be likely that I would. I said a little about my nightmare, but what I only said was the door opening part. I didn't say anything about, Nilexifix or the pretty lady.
Got it. So, what about you, Sam?
I mean, I kind of agreed that we would be the most suspicious because of, our dealings with House Modric. It makes sense. I kind of asked him some questions he didn't really want to answer. Mainly about why she was covered in blood and things like that. What's her name? Can't remember it. Not Rahala, because that's the only name I could think of at the moment.
Who was covered in blood? Nomala.
Yeah, Nomala. Yeah, because I did say that seemed awful suspicious, but otherwise I just told him, sleep, we heard scream, ran in there. He asked me some questions, I answered them.
Okay. Rahala?
He shrugs. I didn't tell him anything. He's a cop.
That's a good answer. Okay.
I mean, he didn't like that, so he's probably going to talk to me again, but shrugs.
I mean, yeah, I imagine he probably didn't like that, but that's fine.
Was I supposed to talk to him?
I mean, we're attempting to cooperate to alleviate any suspicions they have, but at the same time, like,
Definitely didn't do that. Sorry.
I'm not worried about it. It seems like, so when he talked to me, he was very much It seems like he had a very different attitude than we took to the rest of you. He was trying to be accommodating isn't exactly the right word, but that kind of did seem how it was. Disarming, maybe, is probably a better way to phrase that. I told him basically what you guys told him, all the same stuff. I did let him know about your dream, but I didn't tell him any specifics really, other than you heard some voices, wasn't specific on it, and did allude to the fact that something on a previous job we had might have been the reason you were having strange dreams or noises, so that was why you were super keyed up. So that way he didn't think it was just abnormal that you shot awake. I mean, it's still abnormal, but like not abnormal in the same way, right?
Provided another reason it could have been other than lie. Yeah.
Right, exactly. That's kind of where I was going with that. I mean, I didn't know if you lied to him or not, but I know you're not the best at it, so I figured cover my bases there.
Don't really like how this investigation's going, personally.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it myself, but I guess we're just going to have to make do on this one.
I have a sneaking suspicion, but I'm curious. Do any of you know why he talked to me last?
You know, I was wondering that as well. I thought I was going to be last.
Yeah.
Would there be a reason he would think that you're more suspicious than the rest of us?
If he actually knows who I am. I don't think he's from Setsegia.
Well, he definitely didn't seem to be local, but I don't know where he's from. But yeah, I guess so.
He would know I'm a runaway and did some other things that didn't really disclose. Nothing terrible. I'm not like a murderer, but, you know.
Look, we all have past
petty
that we're not
things.
exactly the most excited to talk about. Well, I say that. I look at Lamia and I look at Sam. Okay, you and I have past that we're not exactly excited to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Did you get the sense that he knew more about you than he let on?
I mean, he let on that he had heard a lot about me previously, so he was pretty upfront about the fact that he's in touch with what people around here say. But he did kind of have that vibe of like, I think he tried to have an air about him that he knew more than he was willing to say at all times. Whether or not that's true, I don't know, but
He knew my last name. I don't generally give my last name out.
You've given out your half. He can find out your family name. It's not hard.
I don't generally give out my hearth either, though.
But you have.
also,
And
just,
you're on
you're an
contract.
employee of mine. It's very possible that he got employment records. And on that fancy little piece of paper you signed that indemnifies me against your injuries, you did put your whole name.
Yeah, there's paper trails for a lot of things. It's not the
Would he
most
have had
legislative
the
place, but
time to get that paper trail?
he honestly probably just asked Clint.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's also
yeah, that makes
true.
sense.
Singh is the one person who is in charge of all of us and had access to that paper trail.
And it would
Is
have
the
been very
person who's
suspicious
the
for him
others.
not to provide it. So
Right. Yeah. Makes sense.
So he obviously did a bit of homework before he talked to each of us.
That's probably why I made us wait so long.
I don't
Well,
like
that
him.
to make us nervous.
I think he's the worst sort of detective. One who's actually intelligent but lazy. I don't think he's actually trying to find the truth. I think he's trying to chase down a hunch. It's just my impression, okay? I'm not psychic or anything.
I mean, at least from what I could see, the man put two and two together and got four instead of apple juice, so it's good. I've definitely run into some investigators who couldn't tell,
I'm assuming you kind of filter in on the Clint conversation.
Yeah. Left from right is what I was going to say. I mean, I'm bad with that too. I'm dyslexic and I'm left-handed. That's terrible.
So at least Clint is still cool.
I mean, according to him. Well, I trust the man probably more than I should, but
Not a lot of choices right now.
Yep, it's kind of where I'm going at too. We just take what we've got and.
Unless you all want to become like outlaws running around on the lam and everything.
Not a big fan of it. It's not
Thanks, shores.
Fun. What is a baby shorts called?
I'm thinking
a foal and a kid, right?
It can't be a fid.
It can't. Fid sounds weird.
Oh, what's a baby sheep called? A baby goat is called a kid. It's a baby.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah, it's a baby goat that's a kid. A sheep. Is that a lamb?
Baby sheep.
I'm looking it up.
Baby sheep.
A lamb. Yeah,
lamb.
Sheep is a lamb. That's why I thought of it. Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
A lol.
Oh my god.
For a lamb foal.
A famb.
Unless it's a boy, because they're called colts, right? So then it'd be a
lolt.
A lolt.
A lolt or a cam.
A lol and a lolt.
Oh gosh. Or it'd just be LAAL, so it's lol.
Yeah. Jump in the comments in the Discord and tell us what a baby shore should be called.
Yeah.
Please do.
Fuck. Jesus Christ, what was happening? Somehow that took all of my attention. Just asking, what do we do? At least Clint's cool. We don't have a lot of choices. Do you guys want to be outlaws and go out on the lam? Obviously that was a joke. So, okay, back to it. Plan. You don't have to RP out the plan if you don't want to. Just... where do you guys actually want to start? I think Sam mentioned trying to see if there was like footprints that he could find, which is a great start. You're even told that like they didn't find anything. Clint didn't seem all that convinced that they were good at that.
So I like that plan. I also I just want to get in the room.
Okay, get in the room. Get in the room.
The room. I want to get in the room.
The room.
These don't have to be like things you guys do separately, by the way. Like, so if you're just like, hey, like Lami, if there's like a thing that you want done, but you don't think you have the skill to do it or whatever, like that, just like figure out what you guys are going to do as a party, right?
Yeah. I definitely want Sam in the room because I think you probably have the best perception score. But
you trying to get me to yourself?
I think, yeah, that's it. No, I think you have the best bit of seeing things that the rest of us will miss. I also want to go in the room because I'm the only person here who can detect magic besides Rahala. So,
anything you want to investigate or have investigated, Lamia?
You know what? I know he said it wasn't very likely because of the land denying them. But if Rahala can study up on, the Assassin Guild, the Fang, or whatever, that'd be nice, maybe.
It's a good call out. Ooh, yeah. I can check out.
It's unlikely.
Study on that too.
If they're assassins, they should be pretty good at covering their tracks and being, pretty stealthy. So it'd be hard to have tracks in and out.
But I'll say this, that's good for them not showing up. But if there's records of them, at least we can learn something about them.
Yeah.
So maybe that'll give us a hint of how they do stuff, right? How they've made kills or things like that in the past. So it could lead us to a reason to find them, or what they've used as disguises or alibis or whatever, anything.
Yeah. Okay, so have Rahala do that. Is that something you're going to assist with, Lami, or are you going to try to do something else?
If I could assist Sam, potentially.
With try to find footprints and that kind of stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cool. We will absolutely do that. Okay, so you guys don't do anything specific for like the daylight hours before you're kind of in the clear. You just kind of wait around.
I mean,
Or-
for the daylight hours, I will go to Clint's study and try and find anything about the thing, since I'm apparently the only person allowed in there.
Okay. So you'll research it there, and then Rahala will research it in the regular library.
Mm-hmm.
Sam, Lamia, anything during the daylight hours while you're waiting to be able to move around without as much scrutiny?
Just kind of seem like I'm just patrolling, but really I'm just listening for gossip.
We're right next to the woods, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let some of the guards know, like, hey, I'm gonna go, kind of look for some wild mushrooms and things like that. Now that the lad's out, maybe things are popping up that don't normally pop up. So I'm gonna do some foraging out there, just to let you know where I'm going. So I'm gonna be in the woods, basically.
They kind of nod and like, they seem like, do we have to do something there? A couple of them actually will go with you. They don't get in the way or anything, but they're like, yeah, we should probably keep, just so you don't run away or something,
Yeah.
These are like the house guards you're talking to, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't go anywhere without my horse, but
they're a bit more amicable. You can tell because they see how Clint's interacting with you and that kind of stuff. Like they're just like, okay, yeah, these are. We're not mad at them, at least for now.
Yeah.
But two of them go with you. We're actually going to be doing foraging, or are you looking for anything else?
Ooh. Let's just do foraging. I wasn't really looking for anything else, but I would love to say, could you give me an example? But I mean, no.
Are you looking for like footprints or tracks or any other weird shit like that, or any specific things that you're like?
No, we didn't. I am going to be searching for food, but yeah, that is a good idea. Like, while I'm out here, I might as well see what tracks and other things I can find. Because if I'm looking for
it was like wee hours when you guys woke up, so you have a lot of daylight, right? You actually do have time.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. All right. So let's see. First, we'll have Labia go ahead and roll a perception check because you're just trying to eavesdrop. You're not actually talking to people, gathering info. 7. Nice. Most of the chatter you're hearing like mixed stuff. Like one thing one thing you are hearing is no one thinks Nomala did this. Like no one. You hear that Casimira and Lamal are fighting. Like they had a really bad argument, apparently. And that Miles is not doing well right now. Most 27, yeah. You hear people talking about him, like I saw him. He had a bottle in his hand. I don't know where he is now. So they're kind of. It's like a very hushed. Like you can tell they're trying not to like be super loud about it and stuff, but people are worried. And in general, there's an obvious downturn in the mood of the manor. Like all the workers in here, stuff here, like they're not even talking a lot. You're just getting snippets of this as people do talk, but like you're not hearing any of the like normal, just little conversations they had, little jokes and stuff that they would tell each other. Everyone is very low for good reason, but yeah. Those are the things you're mostly hearing over the course of the next few hours.
Okay.
You might get something to eat, and you might talk to a couple of people occasionally, but
anything specific about the murder victims? Okay.
Unfortunately, you don't really hear any of that from just like the helpers and such walking around.
Okay. I was just confirming just in case, someone could be saying like, man, yeah, this guy ate like this one last thing. That was a terrible choice to eat, or, something like that.
Like if you do hear anything about it, it's just people like condolences in a way. Like the people, they were really nice, or oh, they were so kind, or oh, I knew this guy back this day, and he was super cool to me, or whatever, right? Like you're mostly just hearing this. Like people they're just died, so you're just hearing that.
Yeah.
It's all like positive sentiment stuff because no one wants to speak ill of the dead.
Okay, I got it.
And that's like pretty much all you're hearing. Oh, sorry. The other thing, like, there are a few people who are suspicious of you guys, but not in a aggressive way of like, man, those motherfuckers. They're just kind of like, I don't know, like, I don't know, like, who else could it wasn't Nomula, so like, who else would it have been? Like that kind of thing. But mostly it.
Okay, thank you.
I'm gonna see if there's anything else I should give you for, because that's a really good roll. But here's what I'll give you. One of the workers, anytime you start hearing suspicion level at you guys, you notice it's like the same lady. Like if she's part of the conversation, seems to steer it in a different direction. At least screw that. This guy always double parked his shorts and kicked puppies. Rest in peace, his asshole. Wow. No, they were just a guy who really liked his cool armor, a druid, and a normal Ulyss woman. That's all they were.
I was about to say that. A normal Ulyss woman.
Yeah, like 6 foot something and jacked. That's a normal Ulyss.
Normal Ulyss. Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, so
got it. Thank you.
That's what you got. Yeah, we'll go to Sam next. So you're doing your foraging. Okay. Go ahead and roll me a survival check. You are in a forest.
Ooh, yeah, not there too. Damn good.
27. Damn. Okay, that's hella good. 1 second. Let me find the list. Get out of here. Fucking thing.
We don't have a foraging macro on this one, do we?
Nah, not on this one. I'm basically looking up the the shit I used to create that real quick. Where's that last one? This one. Okay. So 27, really goddamn good. What was the other thing you were looking for? Sorry.
Footprints and such, like tracks, basically.
Separate check. Cool. Let's see. So you're just trying to find stuff that probably wouldn't have popped up while it was raining. That might have come up now. Yeah, it's probably going to be stuff like mushrooms and the like. Okay. Give me 1d100 and then 1d8, please.
1d100 and 1d8.
Yep. That is a 9 and a 5. Well. Okay. Yeah, as you're foraging around, first, you're going to find... So the first thing I'm going to say is you actually find the proper ingredients to make the really good rations you learned from your intro in the village. You actually find enough to make 3 days worth of that. But the more interesting stuff you find out there is you find this little patch of mushrooms. They all look like pretty regular, like these like little thin, like pale mushrooms, also growing up like next to a tree. And kind of in the center of this cluster is one that is like bright blue. So give me a knowledge nature real quick. I will tell you with your survival, you do not think, you're pretty sure it's not poisonous, even though it looks like it should be.
I don't get... Sorry, I always have to look. Oh.
It's geography, I think is what you get the actual bonus.
Yeah, geography. Yeah. Mm-hmm. 11.
Okay, so you think you've seen these before. You remember them not being poisonous, but you don't remember what they're called or like what else they do. You're pretty sure they're good to eat. You just don't know what the other. There was something special about them. Just the blue ones. The white ones growing around it though are just regular mushrooms you can just eat.
Yeah. Pick up enough.
Yeah. You find like a few patches of those, so you have like a handful of those blue ones.
Okay.
And then otherwise, yeah, you find enough that you could eat today if you wanted to on just victuals, but yeah, you find strange blue mushroom.
enough foraging to find a couple, like you said 3 rations?
Yeah, 3 of the really good rations.
3 good rations.
Which, if I remember correctly, those are the ones that you use for Ginger.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah. They give her a benefit.
Yeah, the Hayethe horse rations.
Mm-hmm. Also, we need to roll for wool.
Oh, yeah, we do. It's been a day. I forgot. It's been a minute since I've had to do that.
How can you forget the wool?
The wool.
The wool.
And then after that, give me another survival.
Okay. Didn't even have her pulled up. Where is it at? Where'd it go? There it is. 1%.
1%?
No. 1% though. Means it has a whole 2.
Yep.
And then another survival?
Yep. Another survival. This is the search for footprints.
The footy printies.
You see is
and then
lower
various
than it usually
sizes.
is because of the
Oh.
Never mind.
Yeah.
So, yeah, looking around, you find some mushrooms, you find some footprints, and you find a snail. This snail is bone white, and its shell is kind of a cream, like eggshell color. This is a fist-sized snail. He's kind of a big one.
Body with egg. Shell fist size. In the woods.
In the woods.
That's
Alrighty.
what you find.
Yeah, I didn't find any footprints then?
Did not find any footprints.
Okay. You did say footprints. But when you were listening to them, you found some mushrooms, found some footprints, and you found a snail. So that's why I was double. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Just asking. Or if I found some, they're like animal tracks.
It's a 14. Yeah, nah. Yeah, nothing else. Yeah. So yeah, yes, Ellie. He's in a forest, so that's a 14.
Well, no, I added 2, didn't I?
Did you?
Yeah, I added 2. That's a 12.
That's your total. It's 12. Cool. That's okay. Even a 14 wouldn't have got you anything. So we will go to the research checks. So we'll have Dave. You're gonna roll Eli's, obviously. This is for these folk. What are you trying to find out about them? Like, if you can give me some examples of questions you're trying to answer. Who are they is a bit broad.
No.
Right?
Okay, so kind of like what I alluded to earlier. I want like traditional method associated with the Fang.
Mm-hmm.
I want like motive is the wrong one. What kind of stuff do they take? Like, what kind of jobs are they usually known for? Right? Because like people, especially assassins, you have to build based off of reputation. So
yes.
what is their rep in the like community or whatever? And anything that would be like Federa Madiba records specifically on encounters with them. Because I feel like since Clint was part of the Federa Madiba for so long, he's got more likely to have like those kind of records than just random other stuff about them.
Gotcha. Okay. So if we're looking for like anything like Federa Madiba like we're gonna go with history. This will still be at +4. If we're kind of trying to figure out like method and stuff, that might, method and things. A lot of that is going to spread mostly through like word of mouth and like in accounts, right? That could be stored in like Federa records because they do take account of those things, but that's mostly going to come down to local, which knowledge local is going to be a +2 here.
Okay. I'll take the knowledge local. It's still my better roll with
it's
+2.
Okay.
Yeah, +2, it's way better. There we go.
21. Okay. And then, Giselle, while we're working on this, if you would roll for Rahala's research check. Hers is... This is going to be knowledge history. So that is at +4. So you're rolling 1d20 plus 13. Because even the regular library has a big history bonus. Nice. Okay, so Eli, what you're able to find out through this is you realize that. Oh shit! What languages do you speak? I just realized.
I speak not that many. Hold on, sorry. Tertian, Ulus, and Rallian.
Tertian, Ulus, Rallian. Okay, not Thulian. And you don't have comprehend languages?
Nope, shouldn't.
Okay. Raleigh. This would be in Raleigh, so that works. Yeah, local too. Okay, so you find a lot of mostly notes, right? You do find a couple of books of like kind of, for lack of a better term, fairy tales. They're not necessarily about the Fae, but just like shit parents tell their kids to get them to behave, right? Especially in those days. You find a lot of stuff where they talked about these entities that range from just men with strange powers to actual monsters, always depicted as having either like blood red weapons or blood red teeth and claws. The names are fairly inconsistent. Like they got called a lot of things, but the Fang moniker is the piece that sticks. Some of them called them the Death Fang. Some of them called them the Red Fang. Some of them called them the Fangs of the Setting Sun. They had all these different like things that like sort of different regions and different brain demographics referred to them as. But there's always this like the Fang part is what sticks. And especially when you're using Raleigh, Raleigh has multiple words for like tooth, which get used in kind of different contexts. they use a very specific one for these people that is otherwise pretty rarely used. It's just like a very uncommon Raleigh word. So you hear about that, but unfortunately, so much of it is mythos that it's difficult. Yeah, I know we're at time. That it's difficult to figure out which are fact and which are fiction. So I'm just gonna kind of play the hits for you, so you know what notes to take. One of the things that is commonly attributed to them are essentially needless brutality. Is how there was this. It's how the like monster version of their mythos came to be. People began to think, oh no, these are these savage creatures that can turn invisible. That's another thing. People believe they can actually become unseen. Some stories literally being that, like, if you let the wrong person into your house, don't assume they left if you didn't see them leave, because they've, like, watched, people be torn apart by an invisible entity and that kind of stuff. And all they could see was the red on the claws. Those types of scary stories. So you get needless brutality, becoming invisible, and the last thing you get about kind of their calling cards, so to speak, what people said about them, is that it's not really about their method of dispatch, but that even though there are many of them, they can kind of be anywhere. People suspect that they have some way of traveling great distances to hit different targets. Like impossible differences, like they're teleporting somehow. If they were, for example, in Songguk one day, next morning they could be in the Caliphate.
Okay. Sounds good. I mean, bad, but sounds reasonable.
But it's just one of those where you're like, okay, how much of this is true? Right?
Yeah.
Obviously, they exist enough so far that even if they're not a real organization, people could emulate these things. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of this. That's the stuff you find out with this check. You can continue to research on separate days. That's what you learn this time. And then, do we want to try to cover Rahala's check, or do you guys want to push that off till next time?
I would like to know what she found, just so we can finish this little bit up. And then
me
to the
too.
next thing.
Jump to the night, yeah. Okay. So, when I will say probably Eli regroups, or no, you guys all can regroup before it hits like nighttime, before you guys go do it, like try to get into the room. Mm-hmm. She will inform you of what she found out about them. Hers being more on the history side of things. She could have found out more if she was in his office, but she can't go in there.
Yep.
So, the organization...
she could. He's not here, but we're going to be polite and respect his wishes. For now.
The Federo has actually labeled this organization, and they simply call them the Fang Assassins. The Federo actually has like classifications for like hostile organizations they've come into. Mm-hmm. Now, granted, they will do that for even things that aren't like a guild of assassins or something. They could be like a tribe in a certain region. They'll be like, hey, these guys are, level of hostility is a 6, level of danger is a 3. It's actually out of 7. It's not out of 10. Or they actually have like a breakdown of these classifications. We won't get into that because she doesn't actually explain all of this. Just know that there's a hostility and a danger tier that they categorize organizations on. And they have like there's a third category, which is like whether they are confirmed, whether they are fiction, basically like they don't actually exist, or if it is literally a mix of the two things. What she explains to you is when something's a mix, it doesn't just mean that they're real, but there's a lot of fiction out there about them. It means it is something entirely different that she doesn't understand. Right?
Okay.
So the Federo believes the Fang assassins to be confirmed real.
Okay.
And apparently there's a lot of different accounts and things that are just not in that library. And that the Federo believes them in control of, or believes there is a possibility that they are in control of a, what would we call that in this world? So when you talk about artifacts, they are normally categorized as minor and major artifacts. Major artifacts are essentially a god made this.
Mm-hmm.
There's one little step just above that when an artifact is not an item, but a place or a structure or a plane, whatever, right? Something that's incredibly powerful that exists kind of outside the capacity of just a single object. She tells you about one that is simply called the Nexus, which is a winding network of portals, essentially, that could potentially lead to just about anywhere on Hayethe. The Federo believe that to exist, that it existed sometime during the Starken Night, but to their knowledge, it was destroyed. Because there was actually a nascent who was responsible for creating it, and they were killed. And when their power was scattered, the Nexus was supposedly shut down. However, theorized that it could still exist in a lesser form. And the real nugget here is the Federo believes that the ability of the Fang Assassins to literally just be, like, just bamf from one place to another, essentially instantaneously, is true.
Okay.
She rolled like a 30, so I'm going to give you one other bonus piece here. Because I'm trying to give you something that's more useful to your investigation. I probably should have given this to you, but it's fine. Between the two of you, you learned a little about this thing about the land hating them.
Okay.
Is that the Fang Assassins were supposedly founded, or at least in theory were founded, by a powerful Fae. An entity known as one of the eldest. It's not confirmed. This is the theory. However, they have it on pretty good authority that the Fang Assassins once, because there's like a whole ritual process to become one. Normally not done willingly. They usually just take people who have potential. There's a whole process to become one. And once you've like undergone this process, made this transformation, made these oaths, you can't be in one place too long. Or storms, like crazy storms will appear, natural disasters will start happening, all in an effort to literally consume that person. And there's like a litany of different like reasons why they think that is, but it basically comes down to they literally pissed off the planet during the like age during the Starken Night, when everything was in flux in this primal state of influence, where gods were being created and all sorts of shit, and that stuck. So part of them doing the whole going from different places and shit is actually a survival mechanism. And to follow that up, they don't know a ton about their organization, but one thing that they believe to be the case is that there are members of the Fang Assassins who have essentially broken their oaths. Like, essentially betrayed the order, not to, like, become good people, to actually get around the curse. So they stop becoming Fang assassins. So they don't have access to the same things they have access to, but it's to get around the curse because they have other other aims, other objectives, other things like that. Only happens to the most skilled of them, because if you aren't a badass outside of the other things you're granted by their order, you will just die trying to do anything of that nature. You wouldn't even survive the severing process.
Right.
Which is what they believe that is. It is, and they liken the severing ritual to a similar ritual that is in the Caliphate, where they cut you off from magic. I know that was a lot of words. But in theory, a Fang member who has denounced the order and has been severed also cannot cast spells.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah, 30 is really high.
Yeah. So I've got a follow-up question now, and I will ask this in character real quick because I just want to end the night on it. I assume unless you've got something else, but we can just to make people think. Also, because I don't want to forget that I want to say this. I have Big Nexus. It's created by Nascent. Nascent killed. Nexus no longer works. But you just told us, like yesterday, about a guy who was making like vessels for Nascents so that they could use their power even if they were dead. So in theory, if they did that, had a vessel of this Nascent, then they could use that power to make the Nexus still go.
Yes.
Crap.
Crap. Yeah. All right, guys, that's the session.
Yep.
We're 11 minutes over.
Good job, everybody.
So I'm going to say this really fast. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Discord, link in the chat. If not, links on the YouTube page if you're on the YouTube page. Bell, subscribe, fancy things.
Gun to Battle Operation 2.
Yeah, sure that.
Sure.
Resident Evil 4.
It's fun.
Earth Defense Force 5.
It's also fun.
Lost Planet 2.
I had
Oh
to
my
put
God.
Defense Force down. The missions, the spiders, there's too many.
Oh, man, that's
too many. It got, like, I beat 2 of the missions, and I was like, okay, yeah, I can do this. And the one I got to is, like, it's the whole stage is covered in fog, and the enemies, so far, are only the spider enemies. The fucking jumping ones and the RNA in the fucking fog.
That is unfortunate.
So I was like, yeah.